Guys, welcome to the first 2 episodes recap of the K-drama Big Mouth. With a plot spoiler alert, let's get to the video. As the episode begins, we see gold bars being dumped on a construction site. They then get covered with cement. The news reports of the many crimes done by a person named Big Mouse, and that the police had not been able to catch him. We then see Chung-ho with his wife Ni-ho and father-in-law Gi-kwon celebrating their wedding anniversary in a lavish restaurant. Ni-ho reminds Chung-ho that they can't afford to have such meals because of the debts they have to pay back. Chung-ho gets a call from a prosecutor Dong-hwa to talk about the Guchung Hospital murder case he's handling. The two agree to meet in person. Ni-ho gets lightened up to hear that Chung-ho is working on that case, since many wealthy people are involved in it. As he heads off from the restaurant, a waitress offers him a coffee. The coffee has been spiked, so when he takes a sip, he quickly gets drugged. Chung-ho loses control of his vehicle and gets into an accident. We then flash back to 7 days before the incident. Chung-ho and Mi-ho are happy but a chaotic couple. Apparently, Chung-ho has been scammed, so he is representing a lawsuit against the scammers. As they walk to the court, Chung-ho informs Gi-kwon that he has bribed the judge to win the case, but for that, he had to borrow from a loan shark. At the trial, they notice the scammers have replaced their attorney, and the judge Chung-ho has bribed is not the one in the court. Chung-ho demands to know why the previous judge was removed, but the current judge silences him. So ultimately Chung-ho loses the trial. The ones who got scammed storm at Chung-ho for losing it, since he has convinced them not to go to a bigger law firm. Apparently, Chung-ho's nickname is Big Mouth, because he talks highly of himself even though he is incompetent. Ni-ho works as a nurse. She makes a call to Chung-ho to know about the trial. He tries to make Gi-kwon answer the call, but ends up answering himself. Mi-ho yells at him for losing the trial, since they have to pay up a huge interest rate for the money they lost. That evening Mi-ho angrily waits for Chung-ho. Gi-kwon gets caught by Mi-ho when he tries to sneak out clothes for Chung-ho, who's waiting outside the house. Chung-ho, who's waiting for Gi-kwon, decides to sleep in his office, since he's too scared to face Mi-ho. He gets a call from the mayor Do-ha, wanting to hire him for a criminal case. Do-ha asks to meet up at a remote place in the middle of the night. Do-ha asks him to take the Guchung Hospital murder case, since the people involved in that case are his friends. A car has gotten into an accident, and in the trunk was the body of Jae-young, who is a doctor. Jae-ho, who is a surgeon, Do-gun, who is the hospital's attorney, and Chae-bong, the son of the chair of the hospital, have now become prime suspects because they were in the car at that time. The three accuse each other of the murder when they get questioned. The three men have already planned out their trial by buying off all the judges. All they want is an obedient and incompetent lawyer. On hearing this, Chung-ho refused the offer. So Do-ha tells him that even though that is what the three men want, he wants to know the truth. They have financially helped Do-ha to become the mayor, so now they overly interfere with government matters. He wants to have something against them so he can stop the interference. He also adds the dead Dr. Jae-young, and the 3 suspects are members of the NR Forum. So Chung-ho takes on the case. Chung-ho goes to meet his friend Soon-tae, who is also a lawyer, and asks for his help in the case. He makes Soon-tae call the prosecutor's office, identifying himself as the lawyer Sun-sik, and informs them about the dashcam of the car which was involved in the murder case. The next day Chung-ho goes to see the 3 inmates. To his surprise, he finds them in a very comfortable hidden room in the prison, with the warden himself serving them to their needs. The 3 men are delighted with the lawyer Do-ha has chosen for them, since Chung-ho has a very low winning rate. Do-gun hands him a document with all the information including the strategy for the trial, and the statements Chung-ho should make in court. He also informs him that prosecutor Dong-hwa is in charge of the case. As they talk, they get a call from Do-ha, informing them about the tip the prosecutor's office has received. The 3 men get alarmed on hearing it. As he leaves, Chung-ho discards the empty drink to the trash can. We then see the container has been bugged, and Chung-ho listens to the conversation of the 3 men. He hears that the dashcam of the car is with Jae-ho's wife. Do-gun suggests getting rid of the dashcam, but Chae-bong strongly refuses, pointing out that it is their insurance. Chung-ho informs Do-ha that the dashcam is with Jae-ho's wife. He also adds that they seem to have an accomplice. The 2 men decide to meet Jae-ho's wife Hae-jin. Hae-jin is a TV host of a cookery show. After the show, one of her teammates sees a man sneaking into the dressing room when Hae-jin is alone. As Do-ha gets to the studio, he hears the teammates screaming, and they find an unconscious Hae-jin in the dressing room. Chung-ho notices a man outside and realizes he has attacked Hae-jin. After things settle up, they ask Hae-jin about the dashcam. When she resists, Chung-ho plays her the recording. Chung-ho then asks about the accomplice, and so she tells him that it's Ji-hoon. Ji-hoon is the president of the newspaper and the NR Forum. The 3 suspects in the murder case are his lackeys. He has not been on good terms with Jae-young. Chung-ho then drives Hae-jin to the temple she hid the dashcam video. Chung-ho promises that he will not report her. He also advises her to stay in hiding, referring to the earlier break-in. Hae-jin also warns him to be careful since he might get himself into trouble in handling this case. Chung-ho checks the dashcam video, and in it, Do-gun and Chae-bom assault Jae-young in the car Jae-ho is driving, and they demand him to withdraw his paper. When Jae-young refuses, he gets killed by Chae-bom. Chung-ho notices that neither of the three men mentions Ji-hoon. Meanwhile, Mi-ho is concerned about not being able to reach Chung-ho for a few days. A group of men from the court visits them with a warrant to seize every personal property for the money Chung-ho borrowed from the loan shark. Hee-gwang informs about it to Chung-ho. Chung-ho, who is in desperate need of money, searches up on Ji-hoon and notices the many assaults he has settled with his victims. Chung-ho then goes home with the money Do-ha gave him. Mi-ho gets lightened up on seeing the pile of money he has suddenly got, so Chung-ho assures her that he got hired for a big case. The next day Chung-ho goes to meet Ji-hoon with a dashcam video in order to use it to get the money he wants. He confidently claims the possession of the dashcam video to Ji-hoon and demands him to buy it from him for 3 billion won. But to his disappointment, Ji-hoon shows no interest to do so and mocks his attempt to blackmail him. He also challenges Chung-ho to see who wins in the end. As he heads back, Chung-ho gets a call from Do-ha, who is furious at him for not answering his calls. He does not say anything about the meeting with Ji-hoon and tells him that he himself will give the dashcam video to the prosecutor. At present time, Chung-ho tries contacting prosecutor Dong-hwa as he waits for Mi-ho and Gi-kwon in the restaurant. Because he doesn't pick up, Chung-ho leaves him a message informing that he has something to share. During the meal, he gets a call from the prosecutor for a meetup. He then gets into an accident after drinking the drugged coffee. Chung-ho wakes up in the hospital. They get a visit from the police with an arrest warrant for Chung-ho for using drugs. Chung-ho is surprised to hear it and tries to convince them that he didn't use drugs. Hee-gwang tries to interfere, saying that he is a retired captain of the Criminal Affairs Police Division. In the meantime, Chung-ho's car gets searched by a group of men, and they find the dashcam video. They then scrap the vehicle. While in the cell, Chung-ho thinks over the events that occurred. He realized that Ji-hoon is behind the attack. He convinces the police to set up a meeting with Do-ha. Do-ha is disappointed to hear that Chung-ho lost the dashcam footage and met with Ji-hoon without proper evidence against him. So he refuses to help him out and leaves. Police officers also search Chung-ho's office, while Gi-kwon watches them helplessly. In the office, they find many gold pallets, weapons, and cash. Chung-ho gets transferred to the prison where the worst criminals are being held. It's the same prison Do-gun, Chae-bom, and Jae-ho are held. The guard takes him to a darker area of the prison and throws him at a group of prisoners who takes them to Do-gun, Chae-bom, and Jae-ho. Chung-ho gets beaten up by the prisoners as the three men watch. They then hang him up and enjoys as he struggles. At a party, Ji-hoon insults Do-ha by saying he supported his campaign because of his wife Yoo-hee, even though Do-ha is not on the same level as he is. Yoo-hee retorts back pointing out Ji-hoon's stupidity and the times Do-ha saved him because of it. She also reminds him of Ji-hoon being scammed by Big Mouse. Just then the news reports Chung-ho as Big Mouse. On hearing the news, Ji-hoon quickly makes a call to the warden and orders to keep Chung-ho alive since he wants to get back his money. So the warden rushes to see the unconscious Chung-ho with doctors and gets him back to life. He then gets taken into his cell. Mi-ho and Soon-tae try to meet with Chung-ho, but the guard informs that Chung-ho refuses to see them. As they leave, Soon-tae gets a call from Gi-kwon, informing him of the news reporting Chung-ho as Big Mouse. He advises him to take Mi-ho somewhere safe since reporters have gathered outside their house. But as he talks, Mi-ho already gets to know the news. So Soon-tae informs her about the reporters outside the house. Because the inmates can watch the TV, she decides to head back home. Mi-ho confronts the reporters claiming Chung-ho's innocence. She tells Chung-ho through the broadcast about her visit to the prison and how she was not allowed to see him. She promises to fight for his innocence until the end. Chung-ho listens to her cheerfully. Chung-ho gets taken to the prosecutor's office to interrogate. He tries to convince the prosecutor Jung-luk that he is not Big Mouse. Do-ha watches Chung-ho carefully as he gets interrogated. When he gets to his cell, Jerry, who is another inmate who shares the same cell, is excited to see him. He's a huge fan of the criminal Big Mouse, and so claims his devotion to Chung-ho. No-buk is the leader of the cell. He asks for Chung-ho's birthday to read his fortune, but Chung-ho slides the question which No-buk notices. Ji-hoon meets with Do-gun, Chae-bom and Jae-ho in the prison. The three men insist to kill Chung-ho since he has evidence against them, but Ji-hoon warns them not to lay a finger on him until he confirms Chung-ho is Big Mouse or not. The warden enjoys the split between the men wanting to kill Chung-ho and not. Ji-hoon meets with Jung-luk to know if Chung-ho is really Big Mouse. Even though the evidence is indisputable, Jung-luk is convinced that Chung-ho is Big Mouse. He has received an anonymous tip about Chung-ho and promises to return everything he stole from Ji-hoon. After meeting with Ji-hoon, Jung-luk meets with Do-ha. The two have teamed up to bring down Ji-hoon and his minions, since they have been looking down on them the entire time. Mi-ho, Gi-kwan, and Soon-tae investigate Chung-ho's case. Apparently, the waitress has fled to Southeast Asia after the incident and is now off-grid. Gi-kwan and Soon-tae try to convince Mi-ho to stay out of the investigation, but she is determined to do it. Inside the prison itself, there is indecision as to if Chung-ho is Big Mouse or not. Chun-sik and his minions approach Chung-ho during mealtime. Chun-sik starts to beat up Chung-ho asking if he is Big Mouse. The warden who has been watching it the entire time gets Chung-ho to a special room. There he has arranged a lavish meal for Chung-ho. He gets friendly with Chung-ho and asks if he really is Big Mouse. When Chung-ho admits that he is not, the warden slaps him across the face and orders the guard to send Chung-ho to solitary for 5 days. Mi-ho gets a nursing job in Guchung Hospital in order to look for the paper Jae-young has published. It is where Do-ha's wife works as well. Soon-tae informs about it to Chung-ho when he meets him. He also tells him that Do-gun, Chae-bong, and Jae-ho will be released, and Chung-ho will be indicted soon. Do-ha is out of reach. It seems as Do-ha believes Chung-ho is Big Mouse and wants to cut all his ties. So Chung-ho asks for Soon-tae's help to divorce Mi-ho, since he will be imprisoned for life or the death penalty if found guilty. While in his solitude cell, Chung-ho thinks of his memories with Mi-ho. He finally decides to prove his innocence through a suicide note and kill himself. Outdoors, Chung-ho looks through the suicide note he has written. On seeing him, No-buck warns him not to think of killing himself, since he seems to have a long life. Realizing that he is surrounded by murders, Chung-ho decides to provoke one of them to kill him, rather than doing it himself. He learns from Jerry about all the dangerous criminals in the prison. He first tries provoking Chun-sik. To Chung-ho's surprise as well, when he fights Chun-sik, Chung-ho manages to punch him unconscious. He then goes after psychopathic serial killer Kwang-yeon. But when Chung-ho brings up his mother, Kwang-yeon gives up killing and starts crying. Soon the news about Chung-ho spread across the prison, and the prisoners start believing that he really is Big Mouse. Jerry then informs about a prisoner being shot dead when he tries to escape. Chung-ho decides to try that out as well. That night Chung-ho tries to escape after triggering the alarm. The warden gives the order to kill the escaping man. As the episode ends, Chung-ho gets surrounded by many guards and gunmen. He yells at them to shoot him. The episode begins with Chung-ho trying to escape the prison, hoping to get shot by the guards. The warden as well gives the order to kill him, but when he sees it's Chung-ho, he quickly demands not to shoot him. So the guards handcuff Chung-ho and take him to the solitude cell. The warden informs Ji-hoon about Chung-ho's attempt to escape. Ji-hoon warns not to kill Chung-ho at any cost. Mi-ho gets recruited as a nurse in Guchun Hospital. Mi-yeon, who's the head nurse, walks her around the hospital. When she introduces Mi-ho to the staff, nobody gets particularly interested to know her. During lunch hour, Mi-yeon calls out all the nurses for lunch and orders Mi-ho to give medicine to all the patients by herself. So Mi-ho goes to the patients for the medicine. She comes across a patient who is in cardiac arrest. She alerts the hospital staff and proceeds with giving emergency treatment to the patient. None of the hospital staff seem to react to Mi-ho's emergency alert, but she somehow manages to save the patient by herself. Once Mi-ho saves the patient, she sees Ju-hee and others angrily watching her. Ju-hee gets mad at Mi-ho when she reports the condition of the patient and orders Mi-young to train her properly. Once Ju-hee leaves, Mi-young tells her that the family of the patient requested a do not resuscitate order, which in short, is referred to as DNR. Everyone on that floor is with a DNR order, so Mi-young orders her not to do anything if they have a cardiac arrest. When Mi-ho tries to protest, Mi-young warns her to just do as she is told and walks away. As she has her meal, Mi-ho overhears a man forcing the guardian of a patient to agree to DNR if the patient needs to get the surgery done. The guardian reluctantly signs the agreement. After work, Mi-ho informs about the patients with the DNR order to Gi-kwan and Soon-tae. She believes that Jae-young's unpublished paper has something to do with the DNR order. Both Mi-ho and Gi-kwan notice that Soon-tae is lost in his own thoughts. So he hands her divorce papers and informs her that Chung-ho wants a divorce. Even though he doesn't support it, Soon-tae admits that a divorce is what's best for her. Mi-ho tears down the paper and decides to go see Chung-ho, but Soon-tae tells her that Chung-ho is in solitary confinement and so can't have visitors. The warden orders his right-hand man Soo-chul to release Chung-ho from solitary confinement and calls for an assembly. At the assembly, the inmates get graded. The ones who bribe the warden every month or do something for him get assigned to grade A, while inmates who do not have connections or money like Chung-ho get assigned to grade C and they have to work as slaves. They get assigned to clean up the sewage drains first. The DIPs and Chun-sik plot another attempt to kill Chung-ho. Chun-sik gets a prisoner who is in desperate need of money to do the job. So when they're outside, the inmate storms at Chung-ho with a knife. Warden orders the guards to stop the inmate when he sees him charging at Chung-ho. Chung-ho and the inmate get into a violent fight before the guards get there, and Chung-ho's hand gets cut by the knife when he stopped the man from almost stabbing him. Chung-ho realizes that the three VIPs do not believe him to be the Big Mouse because they want him dead. He wonders who framed him as Big Mouse, if not the VIPs. The warden meets with Chung-ho and tells him the reason he's still alive is because Ji-hoon believes him to be Big Mouse. He tells him that his wife and father-in-law are also in danger, especially if they have seen the dashcam footage. In order to stay alive, he needs to pretend to be the Big Mouse, and the warden offers to help him if Chung-ho pays him monthly. But instead, Chung-ho admits that he is Big Mouse and warns the warden to leave his family out of it if he doesn't want his own family to be in danger. Mi-ho gets called into the prosecutor's office, and Do-ha watches them as she gets questioned by Jung-ruk. When Jung-ruk asks her about Chung-ho being Big Mouse, Mi-ho strongly denies that he is not. As she heads back, Mi-ho breaks down into tears of remembering Chung-ho asking her out, while promising her that he will not make her cry. Do-ha watches her from afar. At home, Do-ha asks Ju-gi about Jae-young's paper. But she just tells him that it's just a rumor, and there is no such paper. Chung-ho along with other grade C inmates continue to work in the sewage. Even so, they don't get proper food to eat. Chung-ho, who is determined to prove himself as Big Mouse, throws away the food and goes to meet the warden with other inmates. They take buckets filled with sewage and throw them at the guards when they try to stop them. So the warden with the VIPs gets to Chung-ho and other inmates. Chung-ho gets closer to the warden and threatens him, reminding him of their previous discussion. Chung-ho orders him to let them eat a proper meal. So the warden finally gives in and allows them to eat at the cafeteria. The three VIPs try to argue, so the warden tells them that Chung-ho has admitted to being the Big Mouse, and they have to talk to Ji-hoon if they want to kill Chung-ho. Chung-ho gets informed about Soon-tae's visit. But when he gets there, he finds Mi-ho with him. Soon-tae leaves the room letting Chung-ho and Mi-ho talk alone. Chung-ho furiously tells her that he wants a divorce. Mi-ho retorts back at him saying that she will divorce him once he gets out of prison. She tells him that she will not abandon him. The two finally break down in tears and comfort each other as they cry. Chung-ho becomes determined to live and to find out who framed him for Mi-ho's sake. So Chung-ho really decides to embrace that he is Big Mouse. Firstly, he decides to get more inmates to his side. Chung-ho asks Jerry to spread the news that he will be granting any wish to any inmate. Jerry reports that almost all the inmates believe that Chung-ho is scamming them, and only 3 inmates have applied to Chung-ho's offer. Chung-ho calls the 3 applicants to the chapel to discuss their wishes. The first applicant is No Park, which Chung-ho himself is surprised to find. He wants Chung-ho to find his lost daughter. No Park is sure his daughter didn't run away, but the police have given up the search after about a year. He got himself into a car accident while he is searching for his daughter. Because it was thought of as a hit-and-run case, No Park was imprisoned. After listening to him, Chung-ho asks him to write down his daughter's information. The next is Kwang-yeon. He wants Chung-ho to save his mother who is suffering from leukemia. She needs a bone marrow transplant and asks Chung-ho to save his mother. So Chung-ho asks him to write down in which hospital his mother is in. Apparently, she's in the Gucheon Hospital and in the cancer ward in which Mi-ho is working. Meanwhile, Mi-ho goes around asking all the doctors about Jae-young's unpublished paper. But they all tell her that all of Jae-young's papers have been published. Mi-ho is convinced that all the doctors are lying. So she suspects that the paper must contain something huge for all of them to lie about. The guardian who signed the agreement earlier eavesdropped when Mi-ho tells her suspicions to her father. So she meets with Mi-ho and tells her that she trusts no one in the hospital, and asks for Mi-ho's help to save her husband. Before she could say much, Mi-young interrupts the conversation and advises Mi-ho to avoid her as much as she can. Mi-ho gets called in by Ju-hee. She asks her to voluntarily leave the hospital since Chung-ho is her husband. Mi-ho urges her not to treat Chung-ho as a criminal until he is proven guilty. Even if he is proven guilty, as to the labor law, it is up to her to decide a resignation. She brings up about Jae-young's unpublished paper which caused his death. She argues that Do-ha is the one who hired Chung-ho for Jae-young's murder case, and that is the main reason Chung-ho got framed as Big Mouse. Ju-hee tells her that there is no such paper. The 3 VIPs convince the warden to stop interfering in their plans to kill Chung-ho. When they offer to give him 3 million won, the warden agrees. The inmate who attacked Chung-ho and 2 of his henchmen gets transferred to Chung-ho's cell. On seeing the inmate, No Park predicts that he is destined to die in solitude. The 3 new inmates apologize to Chung-ho for trying to kill him. Chung-ho realizes the warden should also be in the VIP's plan to murder him, since he transferred the men to his cell. The transferred inmates try to get on good terms with Chung-ho, and even vow to protect him. Later Chung-sik hands them weapons. They get taken to the place Chung-ho and others are at, and the guards lock the gates and leave them to fight. Apparently, the inmate is the decoy placed by Do-jun, and the actual killer he has placed is Kwang-yeon. No Park notices Kwang-yeon charging at Chung-ho. When he tries to stop him, No Park is stabbed. Even though he is wounded, No Park tries stopping Kwang-yeon from attacking Chung-ho. When Kwang-yeon tries to kill No Park, Chung-ho beats him up. The guard then arrives and settles the situation. The warden goes to see No Park in the hospital. When he mocks him for not being able to prophesize his own future, No Park calls him closer and whispers something which we don't get to hear. Everyone gets taken into solitary cells. But after some time, Chung-ho and Jerry get released. The 3 inmates who were tasked to kill Chung-ho get furious on seeing it. The 3 VIPs are also angry at the warden for interfering. The warden angrily explains to them that they missed the opportunity he gave them. He had to engage to stop an investigation that will cause them all trouble. In the meantime, Mi-ho injects a drug into a patient, and his condition immediately gets worsened. Mi-young and a doctor lash out at her for doing such a mistake. The records in the system say the dosage is 1 milligram, but Mi-ho has given the patient 2 milligrams. Mi-ho confidently tells them that she was just following orders and shows them the snapshot she has taken before word rounds. As for it, the dosage is 2 milligrams. During the Q&A session of a seminar, Mi-ho interrupts and tells the gathering that she has Jae-young's unpublished paper. Everyone gets startled on hearing it. But apparently, she is light about it. On her way back she realizes a man falling, so Mi-ho runs into an alley and manages to get the man off her tail. Then she meets Gi-kwon. She gets a call from Do-ha to ask about Jae-young's paper. To Mi-ho's delight, the two agree to meet the next day. The man who followed her watched from a distance as Mi-ho and her father heads back home. The next morning Chung-ho goes to see No Park in the hospital. No Park asks Chung-ho if he really is the big mouse. Chung-ho casually tells him that he is. The prison guards find the inmate who tried to kill Chung-ho, hung himself in solitary. The warden gets the body in front of Chung-ho and asks him if it was his doing. When he realizes it's not, the warden points out that it is strange to find the man who tried to kill Chung-ho dead. But with his death, inmates get scared of Chung-ho, and he also gets too much attention. Do-ha meets with Mi-ho. Do-ha realizes that Mi-ho doesn't have the paper, so she admits that she's looking for it. She tells him that she suspects the paper to be related to the hospital's DNR request. She asks him if he didn't hear anything from Joo-hee about the paper. Do-ha defends Joo-hee and tells her that she doesn't know about the paper and leaves. Ji-hoon goes to meet Chung-ho in the prison. He asks him to prove him as Big Mouse by stating 5 clients Big Mouse sold drugs to. When Chung-ho tells him that he would not reveal his clients, Ji-hoon urges him that he wants him to say the names when he comes back on the weekend, or else he will die. When Chung-ho gets taken back to his cell, he beats up the guard unconscious and snatches his phone, and makes a call to Do-ha. He urges him to find 5 clients of Big Mouse, and explains his meeting with Ji-hoon. Do-ha orders his secretary to tail the prosecutor Jung-ruk and Ji-hoon, to find what kind of a connection they have. The 2 subordinates of the inmate who died get delirious and injure themselves, demanding the guards to release them, because they are scared of the Big Mouse. So the warden orders to get them treated, and release them to the general wing. In the dining area, everyone is surprised to see the 2 inmates in Kwangyon being released. The food of the 2 inmates is poisoned, and so they die when they taste it. Chung-ho realizes the real Big Mouse is someone who is closer to him, since he seems to watch him. The police investigate the crime scene and suspect it's a murder, so they decide to check the CCTV footage. The warden noticed that the 2 inmates taking out the poison from their pockets and eating. So they concluded to be suicide, even though they can't figure out how they got the poison in the first place. The warden himself with other guards searches Chung-ho's cell. But they do not manage to find anything suspicious. The warden reminds Chung-ho that he has only 4 days left to tell the names of his clients. If he could not, the warden threatened to kill him without anyone knowing. Ji-gun and Sung-tae, who is another member of the NR forum, go to meet a person identified as the elder. They get taken into the waiting room since the elder already has a visitor. Apparently, the visitor happens to be Joo-hee. She's been visiting him since she was young. The elder's secretary informs Ji-hoon and Sung-tae that the elder refuses to meet them until he gets back the 100 billion won. The elder also wants them to support Do-ha, so he wants them to attend the meeting of the majority party leader and the secretary general with Do-ha. So reluctantly, Ji-hoon and Sung-tae attend the meeting. They talk about how Do-ha could advance in politics. Ji-hoon decides to defame Do-ha in a way he can't get into politics, so that the elder would abandon him. Mi-ho notices a man following her again when she heads back home. She sends a text to Gi-kwon informing him that she's been followed and they plan to catch the man. She takes a photo of the man in secret and sends it to Gi-kwon. So Gi-kwon and Sun-tae manage to catch the man. Mi-ho identifies him as the secretary of Do-ha. Do-ha checks photos of Jung-ruk hanging out with Ji-hoon. He gets a call from Mi-ho demanding to meet her if he doesn't want them to take his secretary to the police. Before meeting them, he takes 5 names from the list of clients of Big Mouse that Jung-ruk gave him. Do-ha tells Mi-ho that he tasked his secretary to keep an eye on her, since she put herself in danger by claiming to possess the unpublished paper of Jae-young. He also hands her the list of clients of Big Mouse and asks her to deliver it to Chung-ho. So Mi-ho and Sun-tae go to see Chung-ho with the list. Mi-ho worries if Do-ha is a person they can trust and hand Chung-ho the list Do-ha gave her. Chung-ho makes a call to Do-ha and thank him. Do-ha tells Chung-ho that he decided to help him because he wouldn't ask for the list of names if he really is Big Mouse. We then see Jung-ruk meeting with Ji-hoon. Apparently the list Jung-ruk gave Do-ha is a fake list made by Ji-hoon himself. He wonders if the names that Chung-ho says are the names from the list. Ji-hoon is aware that Do-ha hired Chung-ho as the lawyer for Jae-young's case, and that Chung-ho recently contacted Do-ha. He decides to use Talis to trap both Chung-ho and Do-ha. Inside the prison, Jerry starts a betting business if the Big Mouse will get rid of the 3 VIPs within a month or not. On VIP's order, Jerry gets beaten up by the guards as he collects bets. Jerry gets taken to Chung-ho, and he apologizes to Chung-ho for using his name on his business. So Chung-ho tells Jerry to tell all the ones who bet on the Big Mouse that they'll win big time. The warden orders all the inmates to leave, except for Chung-ho, Jerry, and the VIPs. The VIPs mock him for being fake, and that he will be dead after meeting Ji-hoon. Chung-ho makes a 300 million won bet with Chae-bom to see if Chung-ho could prove himself as Big Mouse. In an art museum, Ji-hoon meets with Do-ha. He informs him that he will be meeting with Chung-ho, and that the list he has is a fake one created by Ji-hoon himself. Do-ha hurries to the prison on hearing the news. The episode begins with Chung-ho going to meet Ji-hoon as all the other inmates cheer for him. Do-ha rushes to meet Chung-ho. He manages to meet Chung-ho before he meets with Ji-hoon, but the warden doesn't allow him to talk to Chung-ho in private, and instead invites him as well to the meeting with Ji-hoon. The warden hands both Ji-hoon and Chung-ho a blank sheet of paper, and asks them to write down 5 names of the clients at Big Mouse that they know of. Both Ji-hoon and Chung-ho do as they've told. The warden first reads out the names Ji-hoon has written. To everyone's surprise, Chung-ho has written the exact same names Ji-hoon has written. Soo-chul, who is the warden's right-hand man, makes a call to the guard near the inmates. And the guard informs the inmates that Chung-ho won the bet. Because Chung-ho has now proved himself as the Big Mouse, Ji-hoon asks him to return the 100 billion won he scammed from them. Chung-ho demands to bring him evidence of Big Mouse stealing his money if he wants the money back. Apparently, Ji-hoon has received a confession from his manager Peter Hong, who handled the NR4 money, about Big Mouse stealing the money. He has been off the grid, but the prosecution office has managed to arrest him recently. Just then, the warden gets a call from the prosecution's office wanting to interrogate Chung-ho. In the meantime, Peter gets interrogated by Jung-ruk. Peter confesses that the Big Mouse contacted him at a time when he was tied to a financial fraud. He has sent him a list of companies that the stocks would increase, and money to invest in them as well. Peter has profited immensely and got in charge of NR Forum's private fund. He has managed the money for the orders of Big Mouse, and without him, knowing Big Mouse has stolen the money. Peter has met Big Mouse once, but he hasn't seen his face or even heard his voice. Jung-ruk shows him a photo of Chung-ho, and tells him to identify the man in the photo as the Big Mouse, because he wants to end the case that has been dragging for so long. If he does so, Jung-ruk promises to let him get off of probation. Do-ha and Ji-hoon also arrive to see Chung-ho getting interrogated, and they are aware that Peter has not seen the Big Mouse before. When Chung-ho gets to the interrogation room, Jung-ruk orders Peter to identify Chung-ho. Peter gets frightened on seeing Chung-ho. Before Peter could answer, his timer for insulin injections goes off. Once he gets the shot, Peter begins to choke and he dies. Ji-hoon and Do-ha are shocked to see Peter dying. Ji-hoon gets interested in Mi-ho since she claims to have Jae-young's unpublished paper. Do-ha immediately tells him that she lied, and he even confirmed it was her. But Ji-hoon is not convinced since she is the wife of the Big Mouse, and might be just as dangerous as her husband. Mi-young announces about the volunteering event at the prison Chung-ho is in. She insults Mi-ho by saying to visit her husband separately without using the volunteering time, and asks her not to attend the event. Kung-suk, who's the guardian who met with Mi-ho, shockingly watch a program with Joo-hee and Hae-jin in it. She's a jewelry designer and remembers Jae-young asking her to make a necklace that can hold a small memory card. Mi-ho on her way back sees Kung-suk and tries to approach her by commenting on the program she's watching, but Kung-suk quickly walks away. Mi-ho gets a call from Ji-hoon asking for a meetup. Do-ha has placed a hidden microphone on the adjacent table and listens to Ji-hoon's and Mi-ho's conversation. Ji-hoon asks her to sell him Jae-young's paper, but Mi-ho refuses by pointing out that she needs the paper to find Jae-young's real killer and to save her husband. Ji-hoon tries to convince her that Chung-ho really is the Big Mouse by telling her of the bet they had. Mi-ho remembers the time she met with Chung-ho, and Chung-ho explains to her his plan to act as the Big Mouse, for him to survive in the prison. Mi-ho just scoffs at him and walks away. Ji-hoon threatens her that she might get herself into trouble if she holds on to the paper, but Mi-ho challenges him back, reminding him that her husband is the Big Mouse. Mi-ho gives Do-ha a call to thank him for the list of names he gave Chung-ho, since Ji-hoon seems to completely believe Chung-ho is the Big Mouse. Soon-tae and Gi-kwang, on the other hand, try to find more evidence on Jae-young's case. They notice Jae-young's profile pictures on social media seem to be taken by someone who is close to him, since he seems very happy in them. So the two men decide to look for this person Jae-young was close with, and assume that he gave the paper to that person. They find a man in the fishing area Jae-young goes to, and ask him about the person Jae-young came out fishing. The fishy man tells them that he came with a woman who seemed like his lover. The warden sells the bet Chae-bong made with Chung-ho. After the warden takes off his commission, Chung-ho gives him another share of money to get himself VIP privileges, for the warden to leave him to do whatever he wants, unless he doesn't commit any serious offenses, and for a party for all the inmates in the prison. When Chung Ho gets to the mess hall, all inmates grandly welcome him. Chun-sik approaches him, as if he's about to start a fight, but he applauds him and walks away. So the inmates continue to cheer Chung Ho. The three VIPs are now freaking out, since they have now confirmation Chung Ho really is the big mouse. Jun is worried about Peter Hong's death, since he was poisoned right in front of Chung Ho at the prosecution's office. The three VIPs ask for Chun-sik's help to save them from Chung Ho, since they are worried that he won't go easy on them. Chung Ho then walks into the VIP room with his lackeys. Chung Ho orders the VIPs to confess to Jae Young's murder, or else they would die in the prison from a mysterious cause. Jae Bong challenges him by saying that they didn't kill Jae Young, and so wouldn't do so. But they sure get scared when Chung Ho remarks that the wine they're drinking might be poisoned. In the next passing days, Chung Ho continued to scare the VIPs with many of his tricks. Do-ha visits Chung Ho in the prison. He demands to know how much of the things he knows of Chung Ho is a lie, and how much is the truth. Chung Ho reminds him that it was Do-ha who dragged him into this mess, and offers him a choice if he'd help him or not. Do-ha asks him if he doesn't feel sorry for Mi-ho, who tries everything she can to save him. Chung Ho coldly warns him not to say a word about him to his wife, and that he himself will take care of her. We then see the warden watching the entire conversation from his office. At night, Mi-young secretly draws blood from patients. Mi-ho sees her drawing blood, so she checks on the system, and realizes that there are no blood work scheduled for the day. So Mi-ho follows her to see what she is doing with the blood. Mi-ho follows Mi-young to the research facility of the hospital. She follows her into a supply room, but when she gets in, Mi-young is nowhere to be found. Ju-hee walks into the room with a security officer and calls out Mi-ho when she hit herself. Mi-ho quickly grabs some surgical masks and alcohol pads and tells her that she came to get them. When Mi-ho asks her what Ju-hee is doing there, Ju-hee tells her that she saw her coming into the room when she stopped by the facility and wanted to check out. Mi-ho then tells her if that is the case, she must have seen Mi-young coming into the room as well. The security quickly cuts in and tells Ju-hee that Mi-ho is the only person who walked into the room. Ju-hee warns her to just take care of the patients, and if she tries to do unnecessary things like this again, Ju-hee vows to fire her from the job. When alone with the security officer, Ju-hee asks him not to go inside the secret room. Ji-hoon meets with the three VIPs in the prison. The three VIPs beg Ji-hoon to get them out of prison on medical leave, since they're too scared to stay in the same prison with Chung Ho. Ji-hoon finds Chung Ho waiting for him as he leaves the prison. Chung Ho asks him about his meeting with Mi-ho, and warns him not to mess with his wife. Ji-hoon snaps back at him saying that aren't any rules. Just then he gets a call from his wife Ashley, who is furious at him for sending her white chrysanthemums, as if for a funeral. Chung Ho admits that he sent Ashley 34 chrysanthemums, because she is 34 years old. Chung Ho warns him not to mess with Mi-ho, or else he'd send Ashley something way more unpleasant. Angrily, Ji-hoon asks the warden to get Chun-sik to kill Chung Ho. But the warden reminds him that he needs to get back his 100 billion won, so Ji-hoon furiously walks out of the prison. Chung Ho then goes to see Chun-sik and requests to talk in private. Chung Ho wants to know what the VIPs offered Chun-sik for his loyalty. Chun-sik remarks that he will not betray the VIPs. Chung Ho is aware that Chun-sik will get released soon. He sternly tells Chun-sik that he is interested in investing in him. When Chun-sik scoffs at him that Chung Ho will surely be sentenced to a lifetime in prison, Chung Ho makes a bet with him to see if he'd be released before Chun-sik. Later we see Chun-sik's minions dragging Jae-ho to Chung Ho just like the VIPs did when Chung Ho first came into the prison. Chung Ho tells him that he watched the dashcam video. All Jae-ho did was drive, and it was Chae Bong and Do Jun who killed Jae Young. He explains to him that the murder and accessory to murder are punished differently, and Jae Young is an accessory to murder. So Chung Ho wants Jae Young to confess in court. When Jae Young doesn't give him an answer, Chung Ho casually orders the inmates to hang him. Jae Young agrees to confess as he struggles hanging from the rope. But only when he passes out, Chung Ho gets him down and wake him up to remind him that he promised to confess in court. Mi-ho, Sun-tae, and Gi-kwang discuss their recent crucial findings and how they are unable to move forward with them. Mi-ho gets a call from Do-ha requesting to meet up with her. Do-ha tells her the story of his father being accused of dumping toxic waste. He has been proven guilty and has died in the prison. Do-ha has thought that his father was wrongly accused and has become a prosecutor to save people like his father who get wrongly accused. But later he has found out that his father has really dumped toxic waste. He then tells her that just like he was betrayed by his father, Mi-ho is now getting betrayed by Chung Ho. He tells her that the list of names he gave Chung Ho was from a fake list, but Chung Ho has somehow managed to give the correct names of the clients of Big Mouse. Pierre Hong, who appeared to confess about the Big Mouse, died right in front of Chung Ho. When she continues to deny, Do-ha tells her that Chung Ho admitted that he is the Big Mouse and warned Do-ha not to tell Mi-ho about it. Mi-ho does get shaken by it, so she excuses herself. On her way back, Mi-ho gets a call from Gi-kwang informing her that he received a call from the loan sharks that Chung Ho has paid the money he borrowed in cash. He asks Mi-ho if she knows where Chung Ho got the money from. Mi-ho tells Gi-kwang about her meeting with Do-ha. Gi-kwang tries to convince that Chung Ho is just acting. So Miho decides to meet with Chung-ho the next day and takes part in the volunteering event at the prison. Ashley also takes part in the event because the elder has told her to do so. Miho asks Suchul whether she can meet inmates, but Suchul coldly turns her down. But he then remembers that she is Chung-ho's wife. He goes to Chung-ho and informs him about Miho volunteering in the prison. Chung-ho excitingly gets dressed up to meet her. He first goes to meet the VIPs and lock them up in a storage room since he doesn't want them to meet his wife. Suchul also comes to Chung-ho with the news that Jae-ho's wife is volunteering. Jerry delivers the news to Jae-ho and tells him that Chung-ho will allow him to see her later and lock up the door again. Jae-bong and Gyu-jun suspect that Chung-ho is favoring Jae-ho. Jae-ho denies it, pointing out that Chung-ho is just trying to separate them. On seeing Miho, all the prisoners greet her. They then start to cheer for her. Suchul comes to her and apologizes for not recognizing her earlier and takes her to meet Chung-ho. Miho finds Chung-ho in the VIP facility. Miho angrily tells him that she will give him just one chance to tell her the truth and asks him if he really is the big mouse. Because Chung-ho is aware the warden is watching them, he drags her out into the field to talk. Chung-ho tells her about everything that happened. After receiving a list of drug clients from Do-ha, another inmate comes from behind and makes him unconscious. When he wakes up, he finds a tarot card with a list of 5 names. He was certain that the card is from Big Mouse, because he has found a tarot card when the inmate who attacked him died, but hasn't taken much notice of it. Chung-ho gets a set of tarot cards and asks No Part to explain the meaning of each card. He was still unsure to use the names on the card, but when Do-ha came running to him needing to talk, Chung-ho has decided to use the names on the card. Ever since then, he's been receiving messages through tarot cards. Chung-ho has received a judgment card, and so he thinks the Big Mouse wants to reveal the truth about Jae-young's death. He also tells her that he can't reveal the truth, since the moment the Big Mouse realizes he is useless, he would kill Chung-ho. When Miho worries that he can't let the Big Mouse use him forever, Chung-ho tells her that he has his own plan. Chung-ho has left a message for the Big Mouse in the Bible, saying that he would fight for him if he helps him out. The Big Mouse has responded by acknowledging Chung-ho's skills with a tarot card. Chung-ho has purposefully dragged Big Mouse into this to find out who he really is. Miho apologizes to Chung-ho for suspecting him and promises to find Jae-young's paper. Hae-jin gets taken to see Jae-ho by a guard. It appears Jae-ho is very abusive towards Hae-jin. He tries to choke her because she didn't answer his phone call. When she explains to him the reason for not answering the call, he starts slapping himself. Jae-ho informs her about their plan to get released soon on sick bail. All the inmates greet Chung-ho when he enters the mess hall. He reveals the secrets of the staff as they walk past them and advises them not to mistreat Miho. After the volunteer event, Miho sees Hae-jin is in pain. She also notices bruises on her and correctly assumes that Jae-ho assaulted her. But Hae-jin walks away without answering her. On their way back, Miho advises Hae-jin to report Jae-ho for domestic violence and even offers to help her out. Hae-jin again refuses her help. Ashley invites everyone for an after-party. Miho refuses to attend since she is to do the night shift at the hospital. So she gets off from the nearest station. She makes a call to Geekwon and Soon-tae and tells them that Chung-ho is not the Big Mouse. Ji-hoon continues to lose to Do-ha at a clay target shooting game. The elder comes there to find a fuming Ji-hoon because he lost the game, and the elder insults Ji-hoon in front of Do-ha. Ji-hoon tries to convince the elder to help him release the 3 VIPs under sick bail. Even though he agrees to it, he continues to compliment Do-ha, which Ji-hoon is irritated to hear. Miho gets a call from Kung-suk when she reached the hospital. Kung-suk tells her that she knows where Jae-young's paper is and agrees to tell her as she pays her. Miho somehow manages to get her to tell her that the paper is in a woman's cross necklace. Before she could tell the owner, someone approaches Kung-suk from behind and pushes her off the building. Geekwon worryingly comes to check on her. Miho briefly tells him that the woman with the cross necklace has Jae-young's paper. She suddenly remembers Kung-suk shockingly watching a TV program, and in it, Joo-hee wearing a cross necklace. She asks Geekwon to download the episode aired and rush to Ashley's after-party Joo-hee is in. Miho finds Joo-hee in the restroom. Thinking she's alone, Miho tells Joo-hee about Kung-suk's murder and her confession about Jae-young's paper being inside a cross necklace. But we see Hae-jin inside one of the toilets and overhear their conversation. She has a cross necklace as well and finds a memory card inside it. On seeing how serious she is, Joo-hee removes her necklace and hands it over to Miho to check. As she does, Joo-hee tells her that the necklace is her mother's heirloom. Joo-hee coldly tells her to do a proper investigation before suspecting people and walks away. Chung-ho on the other hand places a message to the Big Mouse asking him to get the bail of the 3 VIPs dismissed. But he gets a tarot card in response with the meaning for Chung-ho to figure it out himself. So Chung-ho orders his minions to get Jae-ho to him. He threatens to burn him to death if he betrays him and demands him to confess at the court as promised. Do-ha goes to see Miho after hearing about the incident with Joo-hee. He asks her if she visited Chung-ho. Miho tells him that she has decided to believe Chung-ho and wants to see it through to the end. She also adds that he doesn't have to help her hereafter. Do-ha assures her that he himself is looking for Jae-young's paper, so it's more like him cooperating with her to look for it. Gi-kwon and Soon-tae managed to get the episode of the program Mi-ho wanted. In it, she notices Hae-jin as well wearing a cross necklace. They compare the necklace with Kang-suk's designs in the design book. Mi-ho realizes that Hae-jin is the one that has Jae-young's paper. We then see Hae-jin remembering her past with Jae-young. Jae-young has found her when she was running away from Jae-ho. He treats her wounds and eventually the two become lovers. One day Jae-young gives her the necklace. The three VIPs get ready for their bailout. Chung-ho meets them as they leave out of the prison. Chae-bong mockingly tells him that he's aware that Jae-ho agreed to confess at the court on Chung-ho's orders. Both Chung-ho and Jae-ho are surprised to hear it. Chun-sik walks to them confirming it, and his minions, that were with Chung-ho, go back to Chun-sik. Chun-sik reminds Chung-ho that he would never betray another. Chae-bong orders the warden to lock Jae-ho in a solitary cell until their trial is over. Chae-bong and Do-jun then walk out of the prison. Once they're gone, Chung-ho starts to laugh, saying to himself that the VIPs got fooled. Chae-bong and Do-jun on how the anklets work. They then get released. But we see the anklets have been placed on their secretaries and not on themselves. When the warden heads off from work, he orders Soo-chul to keep an eye on Chung-ho and not to let him get close to Jae-ho. After he leaves, Soo-chul signals Chun-sik and he takes Jae-ho to the chapel. Soo-chul informs him that the cameras have been switched off. Chun-sik's minions tie Jae-ho up and Chun-sik tells him that Ji-gun ordered to kill him. Just as they are about to beat him to death, Chung-ho interrupts them. Chung-ho demands him to let Jae-ho go. When Chun-sik refuses, Chung-ho sits back and watches as his lackeys, Chun-sik, and his minions fight each other. Soo-chul has not switched off the camera and instead watches the entire thing from the warden's office. When Chung-ho is alone with Jae-ho, he asks him what is in Jae-young's paper. Jae-ho accidentally confesses to him that Ji-hoon is not the reason he won't talk about Jae-young's paper, and there are much more powerful people than Ji-hoon tied to it. Apparently, Chun-sik has sided with Chung-ho this entire time and was spying for him on the VIPs. They had caused this scene to make it look real for Jae-ho. Chung-ho assures Chun-sik that he would take care of him after he got released as he promised. Chun-sik tells him that he won't return to his earlier life, and all he asks of him is to look after his lackeys. During the fight, the statue of the Virgin Mary also gets broken. Gi-kwon and Soon-tae try to find Hae-jin. They assume she has gone into hiding and informs it to Mi-ho. As they talk, the hospital rings the emergency bell in the cancer ward. When she gets there, she finds Mi-yeon, Hee-ju, and a doctor by the patient's bedside. Mi-ho notices that the patient is in a coma and can be saved. But Mi-yeon reminds her that he is a DNR patient. To her shock, they wait until the patient dies, and the doctor announces the patient's death time. Mi-ho attends the patient's funeral. Mi-ho overhears that the hospital has made them agree to cremate the body, so they can't perform an autopsy. The patient has caught the illness while he was in prison, and has it lasted 2 months after getting sick. Mi-ho informs about the conversation to Gi-kwon and Soon-tae. She decides to get a blood sample from the deceased patient before being cremated, and to examine it with the help of Gi-kwon's friend who is in the forensic department. The security guard of the research facility sees Mi-ho going into the morgue. When Mi-ho walks out of the morgue, she finds Joo-hee and others waiting for her. She demands Mi-ho to hand over her bag. When Mi-ho refuses, Joo-hee orders Mi-young and Hee-ju to search her bag. But they find nothing on her. Do-ha also walks in as they check Mi-ho. At night, Mi-ho again sneaks into the morgue to retrieve the blood sample she hid inside another corpse. When she gets into the elevator, a man gets in as well and tries to kill her. She manages to fight the man until the elevator door opens, and Do-ha finds her getting choked. Do-ha fights the man, but the man manages to escape. Do-ha tells her that he came back because he was worried about her after the incident that happened earlier. Mi-ho takes the blood sample to the forensic department to analyze. She then meets with Do-ha and tells him that even though they might not be able to get much information from a blood sample, they would at least find the motives of Jae-young's paper. She thanks him for saving her life. Chung-ho leaves a tarot card for the big mouse inside the Bible. We then flash back to Chung-ho meeting Soon-tae and sneaking in a phone by hiding it inside a book. He also advised Soon-tae to donate a statue of the Virgin Mary under a fake name, with a hidden camera installed in it. When Chung-ho sees that the big mouse has taken out the tarot card he left, he retrieves the memory card from a statue and watches the recorded video. He sees that it was Jerry who has retrieved the tarot card. He takes Jerry to the bathroom and asks him why he took the tarot card. Jerry earnestly tells him that he was curious because Chung-ho frequently goes into the confession booth and wanted to see what was going on. He also adds that, after seeing the card, he replaced it. Chung-ho angrily looks at him and then demands him to leave. Chung-ho again checks the video and notices that the video skips 30 minutes. He realizes the video has been edited by someone. He gets a text from Mi-ho asking him to call him. Mi-ho tells him that she received 33 chrysanthemums with a tarot card. She suspects it's from Big Mouse and sends the photo of the card to Chung-ho. Chung-ho realizes that the Big Mouse has sent him a warning. Only Miho, Geek1, and Suntae knew about the hidden camera. So Chung-ho wonders how the big mouse came to know of it. When he walks out of the bathroom, he finds Jerry waiting for him. Jerry correctly assumes that Chung-ho is not the big mouse, and he's just following the big mouse's orders left for him using tarot cards. Disappointingly, he blames Chung-ho for toying with him with lies. Jerry asks him to tell him who the big mouse is, since he needs to meet him. But Chung-ho advises him to forget everything that happened and stop looking for the big mouse if he wants to live. Jung-ruk meets with Ji-hoon, Chae-bong, and Do-jun to discuss their strategy for the trial. As they talk, Ji-hoon gets a call from Do-ha informing him that the elder wants everyone in the NR forum to be at his private theater. The elder shows them a documentary of how Gujin was built with power by the elder and families of the members in the NR forum after the Korean War. Other members tease Do-ha for not having any connections, but we see he gets tensed when a photo of the founders of the chemical industry gets displayed. It was this chemical industry that contributed largely to the development of Gujin. After the documentary, the elder announces that he is currently in search of a successor to continue the glory they have created. He then calls for Do-gi and Do-ha to take him out of the theater. The members of the NR forum talk over how Do-gi is called in by the elder almost every day and suspect that she is influencing the elder to make Do-ha the successor. At home, Do-ha pulls out a photo he has hidden inside a cupboard, and we see that it's the same photo that was displaced in the documentary. Jung-ruk goes to see Ji-hoon, who is partying at a club. He demands Ji-hoon to tell him the reason for his reckless behavior when the trial is right in the corner. Ji-hoon admits that he has been abandoned by the elder ever since the big mouse stole his money. Jung-ruk offers to help him get back the money. He suggests using the truth serum on Chung-ho after making him go through extreme suffering. He expects Chung-ho to confess, even though the serum does not have a 100% success rate. No Park notices Jerry treating Chung-ho differently than he used to. When No Park asks him about it, Jerry gets offended and tells him that he was never Chung-ho's lackey. The guard comes to Jerry informing him that he has a visitor. Apparently, it's his sister who has visited him. She tells him that she found herself a sponsor. The sponsor has agreed to treat their grandmother who is suffering from dementia in a nursing home and to help her go back to school. Jerry is surprised to hear this. Just then Ji-hoon walks into the room, and it seems he's the one sponsoring Jerry's sister. Ji-hoon tells him to give him a drug drink for Chung-ho. When he refuses, Ji-hoon reminds him that his sister has already taken his money and assures him that the drink will not kill Chung-ho, but only give him a terrible stomachache. Jerry returns to his cell with drinks for everyone and tells them that he is being released. He tells them that his sister came with a lawyer and the victims have agreed to settle the case. Jerry hands Chung-ho the drug drink, but he does feel guilty when Chung-ho drinks it. After Jerry gets released, Chung-ho gets a stomachache as Ji-hoon said. The guards rush in to take him to a hospital. Jerry notices Miho and Geek-wan arriving at the prison, and just then the ambulance carrying Chung-ho passes him. Jerry quickly goes to Miho and informs her that the person in the ambulance is Chung-ho. So the three of them follow after the ambulance. Miho notices that the ambulance is taking a route that does not have any hospitals. She makes a call to a hospital close by and informs them that they will bring Chung-ho there. Geek-wan then chases after the ambulance and manages to stop it. Miho quickly gets into the ambulance and checks on Chung-ho. She then informs the guard that the nearby hospital is expecting Chung-ho. Miho informs Jerry that Chung-ho is suffering from an acute stomachache and would be fine, and thanks him. In the meantime, a guard sneaks into Chung-ho's room and gets his fingerprint stamp on a document requesting a bail. The guard then hands them to Ji-hoon, who is with Jung-ruk. Geek-wan tries to pass through the guards to see Chung-ho, but he is not allowed to do so. Miho goes to them with medical supplies and tells them that she needs to get in as per the doctor's orders. When Chung-ho regains conscious, Miho asks him if he ate something strange, since the doctors have found drug substances inside him. Chung-ho remembers Jerry offering a drink and realizes it was Jerry who drugged him. After getting treated, Chung-ho gets taken back by the prison guards. On the way back, Chung-ho notices the driver taking a wrong turn. Even though Chung-ho fights the guards, they somehow manage to make him unconscious. He then gets taken into a mental asylum. Chung-ho wakes up tied to a bed in asylum clothing. Mi-young comes to him with a drug to make him unconscious. The asylum staff members make sure that Chung-ho doesn't get to eat or sleep. After many days of torture, Ji-hoon and Jung-ruk visit Chung-ho with a serum. Chung-ho starts to get hallucinations after Jung-ruk injects him the drug. Ji-hoon asks him questions to know where he hid the money. Because it doesn't work, he asks Chung-ho if he really is the big mouse, to which Chung-ho says no. Ji-hoon and Jung-ruk thinks that he has a stronger mental power and lies even with the effect of the serum. When Ji-hoon decides to inject Chung-ho with another dose of the serum, Jung-ruk tries to stop him since overdosage will cause cardiac arrest. But Ji-hoon doesn't give it much attention, and when he is about to inject him with the second dose, Chung-ho screams him a location near his neighborhood. So Ji-hoon, Jung-ruk, Chae-bong and Do-jun go to that place to find the money. Ji-hoon orders Chae-bong and Do-jun to dig the location Chung-ho told them of. Just as when they decide that Chung-ho has lied, Do-jun digs out a box. but there's only one gold bar in it. We then see the gold bars that got covered in cement in the first episode get taken out. They then get moved to a different place. Furiously, Ji-hoon goes to see Chung-ho, and Chung-ho himself is surprised to see that they have managed to retrieve a gold bar. Chung-ho realizes that the big mouse is watching him. He decides to keep up with Ji-hoon and Jong-ruk until the big mouse comes to rescue him. At the prison, No Park and Chun-sik get worried to see many people collapsing out of blue. They see Jae-ho being released, and wonders what happened to Chung-ho. Do-ha learns the location of Hae-jin. He informs it to Mi-ho. Geek-won, Mi-ho, and Soon-tae hurry to meet her. Do-ha finds Hae-jin just in time to stop her from throwing the necklace, but he finds the necklace empty. Hae-jin refuses to talk, so Mi-ho tells the others to leave to talk to Hae-jin in private. When Mi-ho offers to help her divorce Jae-ho, Hae-jin angrily tells her that she will not testify against her husband. Do-ha gets informed of the elder being collapsed, so he leaves, leaving Geek-won and Soon-tae in charge. Gyu-hee treats the elder and advises him not to be stressed. When the elder tells her that he is concerned that he doesn't see a successor, Gyu-hee asks about what he thinks of Do-ha. The elder seems more interested to hand over the business to Gyu-hee than Do-ha. She walks out to find Do-ha waiting for her. Gyu-hee advises him to spend the night with the elder. When alone with the elder, Do-ha gets tempted to kill him, but he stops himself and stays by the elder's side as Gyu-hee advised. At the asylum, a person causes a fire. The firefighters rush into the asylum, and we see one of the firefighters as Jerry. Chung-ho tries to fight the man who is in charge of him. With the help of Jerry, Chung-ho manages to knock the man unconscious. Ni-young sees Jerry and Chung-ho escaping in a car. The hospital security team follows them. Ni-young informs it to Ji-hoon. So Ji-hoon and Jung-ruk also look for Jerry and Chung-ho. Jerry manages to lose them, and takes Chung-ho to a place where he is hidden in another car. He drops off Chung-ho saying the big mouse paid him to save Chung-ho. He promises to tell the truth the next time they meet, and goes off to lure the men, chasing them away from Chung-ho. As he lures them away, Jerry gets himself into an accident. Chung-ho sees Jerry's body being carried away as he drives past. Ji-hoon orders Jung-ruk to put out a public search for Chung-ho. So Chung-ho's escape gets reported on the news, and reports him as a wanted man. Hae-jin is still kept under Mi-ho. Mi-ho hands her a document, and tells her that they will let her go if she still doesn't change her mind after seeing the document. When Geek-won wonders if they did a mistake by letting her go, Mi-ho assures him that she will not be able to refuse the offer. Chung-ho gets a text from an unknown number with a room number in a hotel. He comes across a police barrier. The officer who inspects him identifies Chung-ho as the wanted man. But to Chung-ho's surprise, he lets him pass the barrier. We see the officer has a special tattoo on him. Chung-ho finds clothes and money left for him by the big mouse in the room. Mi-ho, Geek-won, and Soon-tae have turned off their phones, so they couldn't be tracked by Ji-hoon and the team. They also get a reporter to upload a video on Jae-young's murder, and his body was found in the car of the three VIPs. Because they need to contact Chung-ho somehow, the three arrange a protest the next day in front of the prosecution's office. When Jung-ruk gets there, Mi-ho and the team run to him with the reporters that surround them, and Mi-ho questions him about Chung-ho's abduction. When Jung-ruk retorts at them to prove their cooperation by handing over their phones, all three of them do so without hesitation, which surprises Jung-ruk. Geek-won and Soon-tae continue to harass Jung-ruk, demanding him to find out who abducted Chung-ho. Chung-ho sees the news of Mi-ho's protest. He posts an advertisement near a building, just as the way he proposed to Mi-ho with a contact number. Mi-ho realizes that it is Chung-ho who made the advertisement and makes a call to that number. The two get emotional as they talk. She also informs him that Hae-jin agreed to help them with the trial. Jae-bom is shocked to see the video Mi-ho and the team published, and to hear that the uploader is covering their trial. The video also states that the informant would be present at the court. Chung-ho goes to meet Hae-jin and makes her call Ji-hoon. She tells him that she has Jae-young's paper. She offers to hand over the paper if Ji-hoon gets Jae-ho to sign the divorce papers. If he refuses her offer, Hae-jin tells him that she'd give it to the big mouse. Jae-ho angrily tells them that he can't divorce Hae-jin, and that she probably is lying about having the paper to get the divorce. Ji-hoon tells him that the paper directly affects the elder, and that he should consider the aftermath if the paper gets released. On the trial day, many reporters interview the three VIPs as they walk into the court. Ji-hoon meets with Do-ha, and Do-ha realizes that Ji-hoon is aware that Jae-young's paper is with Hae-jin. He immediately informs it to Mi-ho as she walks into the court. Soon-tae meets with the earlier reporter and set up an interview with Chung-ho. During the trial, Chung-ho gets interviewed by the reporter and introduces himself as the Big Mouse. That is Chung-ho introducing himself as Big Mouse in a live stream, while the three VIPs attend their trial. Mi-ho, who is in the courtroom, streams live from the trial at Chung-ho's request. Chung-ho predicts exactly how the trial is going to be. He correctly predicts the assertions Jung-ruk is going to make and the defending statements of Yoo-jun. Others who are in the courtroom also join the live stream when they see Mi-ho listening in. Ji-hoon gets informed of the live stream by his secretary. So he immediately informs the secretary to track down the IP address and find Chung-ho. Apparently, after the trunk got opened up because of the accident, Yoo-jun suggests making it look like they didn't know Jae-young's body was in the trunk and perform CPR. He submits a video of it to the court as well. So during the trial, Yoo-jun points out that their DNA was found on Jae-young because they performed CPR. Ji-hoon signals Jung-ruk to request a break. The three VIPs are surprised to see Ji-hoon hurrying out of the courtroom. Do-ha goes to Mi-ho and asks her to clarify what is going on. At Jung-ruk's office, Ji-hoon wonders how the strategy got out, and Do-jun remembers him handing over the case file to Chung-ho when Do-ha sent him as their attorney. Do-ha also walks in demanding an explanation. As they fight, Ji-hoon gets a call from Hae-jin. Hae-jin asks for the divorce papers within 20 minutes, or she'll hand over Jae-young's paper to the big mouse. So Ji-hoon demands Jae-ho to sign the papers, even though Jae-ho refuses. Ji-hoon goes to Hae-jin with the papers. Gi-kwon and Soon-tae are at a safe distance as well. Just as they are about to exchange the documents, Ji-hoon takes back the divorce papers and asks her where Big Mouse is. So she gives him the address of the abandoned factory Chung-ho is broadcasting his live stream from. The police hurry to the address to arrest Chung-ho. But when they get there, they find Chung-ho's live stream playing inside the abandoned factory. Meanwhile at the trial, the judge announces the verdict of not guilty due to lack of evidence. Chung-ho reveals that the reason for the VIPs to kill Jae-young is his unpublished paper. The three VIPs get interviewed by reporters as they head out of the court. They point out that the big mouse himself is a con man, and they should not believe what he says. Jung-ruk also confesses that he will not appeal against the court's decision, since they do not have any solid evidence against the three VIPs. A truck with a huge display on it arrives as they get interviewed, and play Chung-ho's live stream. He plays a video from a hidden camera set up at Hae-jin's and Ji-hoon's meeting place. Ji-hoon is convinced that Hae-jin has given him the wrong paper, and demands to hand over the real paper. He also confesses about the three VIPs killing Jae-young. Ji-hoon's secretary informs him of the hidden camera. The display attached to the truck is lifted, revealing Chung-ho inside. Chung-ho walks to Jung-ruk and hands him the video they just saw. Jung-ruk, who is helpless in front of the reporters, promises to appeal against the verdict since the video is evidence enough. Gi-kwon and Soon-tae try to fight Ji-hoon's men to stop Ji-hoon from taking away Hae-jin. Do-ha arrives as Ji-hoon drags Hae-jin and demands him to let her go and to leave quickly since the reporters are on their way. Ji-hoon walks into reporters as he heads out, but he threatens them not to report the incident. Hae-jin hands the divorce papers to Soon-tae to process the document. Do-ha offers to take Hae-jin to the airport since she plans to leave the country. So Mi-ho, Gi-kwon, and Soon-tae leaves to see Chung-ho. In the meantime, Chung-ho reveals about him being locked up in an asylum and that Ji-hoon and Jung-ruk tried to kill him. He also adds that he will prove at his trial that he is not the big mouse. Mi-ho, Gi-kwon, and Soon-tae arrive just in time before Chung-ho gets taken away by the police. They have a happy reunion. Before leaving, Soon-tae informs Chung-ho that Jerry is not dead and getting treated in a hospital. Chung-ho informs him that Jerry might have met the big mouse. Hae-jin leaves the country, and Jae-young's case gets transferred to a special investigation team. Jung-ruk's office gets searched by officials as well. Soon-tae goes to see Jerry and leaves a letter to him from Chung-ho. But before Jerry could read it, a person with a similar tattoo to that of the police officer takes away the letter. When Jerry wakes up, the person hands him the note and Jerry angrily tears it. Chung-ho returns to the prison with the intention of catching the big mouse. Chung-ho celebrates with his lackeys in the prison. No Park informs him that there is a strange disease going around in the prison. Some suddenly start to bleed and faint, while others suddenly go crazy. Because of this, the prison's medical staff have left. Chung-sik informs that a similar incident occurred several years ago. But at that time, the inmates have recovered and were sent back to prison. Ji-hoon visits Chung-ho at the prison. He asks him to invest the 100 billion won the big mouse stole from them under a legal construction project, claiming that he could profit 3 times more than he has. Chung-ho retorts at him that he will include illegal constructions in the list of crimes he has committed. Before leaving, Ji-hoon tells Chung-ho that he really is not the accomplice who killed Jae-young. He challenges him to find the real accomplice. The 3 VIPs go to meet the elder. The elder threatens them that he will punish them if they do anything to harm him. Do-ha also arrives at the meeting. Do-ha hands over Jae-young's paper and the original copy to the elder. The 3 VIPs confront Do-ha as he leaves the elder's room. They accuse him to be the accomplice, and we see that it was Do-ha Chae-bong talking on the phone after killing Jae-young. Do-ha instructs them to bring a body to his fishing spot. He then orders his secretary to cause a car accident. Do-ha blames the 3 VIPs that it was their fault that they got themselves into the car accident. It was also Do-ha who drugged Chung-ho to retrieve the dashcam footage since it could be evidence against him. He teases them for being helpless when they don't have the elder's support. Do-hee finds the elder burning Jae-young's paper. They talk about how he was against Do-hee marrying Do-ha at first. The elder then tells he plans to make Do-ha his successor. We then see a man opening the vault containing the gold stolen from Ji-hoon. It gets revealed to us that the man who stole the gold is Do-ha, and he still has a copy of Jae-young's paper. We then flash back to Do-ha meeting with Hae-jin. He tells her to hand over the paper, or she'd have to die because of it. So Haejin hands over the paper. Doo-ha then informs Ni-ho that he found Haejin. At night, Chung-ho leaves a written message to Big Mouse, saying that he has conclusive intel on Jae-young's paper, and demands to see him, if the Big Mouse wants his help. Chung-ho sees a group of inmates heading out of the prison as he returns to his cell. Soo-chul informs him that they are being released to some kind of work that he is not aware of. Ni-ho noticed that all the patients in the cancer ward have been discharged. Hee-ju informs her that new patients are coming later that day. Ni-ho notices a blood test result of one of the prison inmates. Mi-young snatches the paper from her and informs her that Yoo-hee wants to see her. Mi-ho finds Kwang-ho, the doctor from the forensic department, in Joo-hee's room. Joo-hee hands her the report of the blood sample she has given to Kwang-ho to analyze. The test results do not show any complications. Joo-hee fires Ni-ho for violating healthcare law. Ni-ho then gets a call from Doo-ha requesting a meetup. Ni-ho tells him that the hospital and Jae-young's paper seem to be unrelated to the blood test report. He asks her about Haejin, so Mi-ho tells him that she has landed safely in the US and has mentioned nothing about the paper as well. She informs that she will stop looking for the paper. Doo-ha offers to help if she needs any help with Chung-ho's trial. At the prison, Mi-young and Hee-ju distribute vitamins to the inmates. Kwang-yeon seems extremely weak. No Park tries to act as sick to get vitamins as well, but Mi-young strongly refuses to give him any. Chung-ho notices it. The warden comes to Mi-young and informs her that he requested some medical staff from Joo-hee. That night Chung-ho finds a tarot card inside the Bible as a response. He waits for the Big Mouse in the chapel. He also advises Mi-ho to check if Jerry is in the hospital at the time Chung-ho is meeting the Big Mouse. To Chung-ho's surprise, he finds the warden coming to meet him at the chapel. The warden confesses that he is the Big Mouse and engineered everything that happened. He admits that he is the one who gave poison to the inmates who died in the mess hall, and also gave Chung-ho the list of real drug users. The warden asks him about the conclusive intel on Jae-young's paper he talked about. As a response, Chung-ho shows him a tarot card. The warden doesn't seem to realize the meaning of the tarot card. So Chung-ho tells him that he doesn't believe him to be the Big Mouse. The warden rolls up his sleeves and shows the secret tattoo of those who work for Big Mouse, but that doesn't convince Chung-ho that he is the Big Mouse. Chung-ho tells the warden to tell the Big Mouse to show himself and not harass his family if he wants to know about Jae-young's paper. We see Chung-ho has recorded the conversation he had with the warden. Meanwhile, Mi-ho meets with Jerry. She admits that Chung-ho is mistaken to think that Jerry is meeting with the Big Mouse. Doo-ha watches the documentary on the development of Guchim in the Elder's private theater. But he sees the photo he has with him. Doo-ha remembers crying and calling out for his grandfather after seeing a burning car. Ji-hoon also barges in on hearing that he is in the theater, even though Doo-ha's secretary tries to stop him. Ji-hoon remarks that the child in the photo resembles Doo-ha. Because of that he has looked into it, and learned that the child has died while playing in the river. Ji-hoon admits that he underestimated Doo-ha, since he has managed to trick them all with Jae-young's paper. He threatens to properly get at Doo-ha now that he has shown his true capabilities, but Doo-ha retorts that admit Ji-hoon is no match for him. Doo-ha gets a call from Chung-ho informing him about his interrogation. He requests Doo-ha to be there as a witness, since he plans to give some useful information about the Big Mouse. Kwang-yeon struggles in his cell as his condition gets worsened. He has run out of the supplements Mi-young gave him, so he tries to steal the pills from inmate 1708. The two get into a fight and eventually, Kwang-yeon doesn't get the chance to have the pills. No Park noticed Kwang-yeon threatening inmate 1708 because of the fight they had. The group discusses that more inmates are getting into fights because of the supplement, and not even the guards can stop them. We see that it is Jae-ho who is researching inmates with the supplements. Mi-young suggests changing the medication since the inmates are showing side effects, and that is what Jae-young did when he was in charge. Jae-bong and Doo-jun join Jae-ho by pointing out that all Mi-young has to do is follow their advice. Jae-bong asks Mi-young if Yoo-hee ever questions her about Jae-young's research. Mi-young claims that she did not. Apparently, the elder and Doo-ha are aware of the research and have even taken care of the previously occurred problems. Yoo-hee is angered to see the three VIPs and demands to know what they're doing there. Jae-bong casually tells her that they have significant roles related to the hospital. Yoo-hee responds to them that the three of them are to be fired from the hospital soon. But the three VIPs mock her for acting pure and innocent while they do all the dirty work. On the interrogation day, the warden threatens Chung-ho by reminding him of what happened to Peter Hong. Chung-ho just tells him to bring the Big Mouse before him if he wants to continue the relationship he had with him, or they'll end up becoming enemies. The warden gets the resumes of Mi-young, Hee-ju, and Mi-ho applying for the nursing position in the prison. The warden is surprised to see Mi-ho among the applicants. Yoo-hee finds Jae-bong in her office to know about the transfers of Mi-young and Hee-ju to the prison's hospital. He then asks her if she can stop their dismissal. Yoo-hee just tells him that the matter is out of her hand. Jae-bong hurries to the other two VIPs and updates them that Yoo-hee doesn't seem to know about changing the supplements. At the prison, Kwang-yeon's condition keeps getting worse, and he brutally beats up inmate 1708. In the meantime, the three applicants get interviewed by the warden. On seeing Mi-ho, Mi-young and Hee-ju refuses to work with her. As Mi-ho explains her competence for the job, the alarm goes off. Chun-sik notices that Kwon-yeon seems to be under the influence of a strong drug. With extreme measures, the guards manage to make Kwon-yeon unconscious. Soo-chul realizes that Kwon-yeon is not just unconscious, but he is not breathing. Mi-young and Hee-ju go off to get the medical equipment, while Mi-ho goes to the field. While Mi-ho performs CPR, Mi-young and Hee-ju rushes to Kwon-yeon with medical devices. But they find the device is not working. So Mi-ho continues with CPR. She somehow manages to save Kwon-yeon. So to Mi-young's and Hee-ju's disappointment, Mi-ho gets recruited as the prison nurse and heads off to the hospital with Kwon-yeon. In the interrogation room, Chung-ho demands the prosecutor drop his charges against drug use, claiming that it was Ji-hoon who drugged him. We then flash back to the incident, and we see it was Do-ha's secretary who hands the drugged coffee to the waiters. Do-ha promises to drop those charges. Ji-hoon also watches the interrogation. Chung-ho then plays a part in a recording of the conversation he had with the warden. Chung-ho adds that the warden is not the big mouse, but one of his puppets, since he was not able to read the message in the tarot card he showed him. Jung-ruk is still not convinced, and thinks that Chung-ho bribed the warden, in order to make the recording. Chung-ho teases him for already having a bad rap after Jae-yong's case. Chung-ho hands over the recording to Do-ha, claiming he can't trust Jung-ruk. When Jung-ruk points out that they can't arrest the warden with an illegal recording, Chung-ho reveals about the warden blackmailing the inmates to get their money, and that he has installed many hidden cameras and bugs throughout the prison. As Chung-ho heads back, he notices birds flocking near a river. Some of them fall into the river. Chung-ho gets locked in the solitary cell as soon as he gets into the prison. At the hospital, the doctor informs Soo-chul and Mi-ho that Kwon-yeon's condition has turned stable, and that there were no traces of drugs in him, which surprises both Mi-ho and Soo-chul. Soo-chul gets a call from Do-ha, so he leaves, after advising Mi-ho to head home. Before leaving, Mi-ho takes a blood sample from Kwon-yeon and runs a test herself. Mi-ho then hands over the blood sample to another person in an alley, and assures that she would get samples from other inmates as well. No Park comes to Chung-ho with food for him. He has been recruited as a porter. He tells him about Mi-ho working in the prison. Chung-ho gets worried on hearing this. The warden welcomes Mi-ho on her first day, and informs her that No Park will be assisting her with odd jobs. She notices that there aren't any doctors, so the warden informs her that he was not able to find one yet. No Park offers to help her out in every way he can, since he is close with Chung-ho. So Mi-ho asks for a way to consult with the inmates about their blood tests. No Park offers to spread the news. Chung-ho requests a meeting with the warden. Chung-ho lashes out at him for recruiting Mi-ho and demands to fire her. He asks Chung-ho to reveal what is in Jae-yong's paper, if he wants to know who the big mouse is, and decides to play a game with him. From their questions, they learn that Jae-yong's paper is based on the blood samples taken from the inmates, and someone important to the big mouse died because of the paper. Chung-ho then goes to meet Mi-ho. He tries to convince her to resign, since something terrible is about to happen in the prison. But Mi-ho refuses to do so. Jung-ruk arrives with other prosecutors with a search warrant to search the prison. The warden is shocked to hear it, and asks if Ji-hoon is aware of the search. So the warden makes a call to Ji-hoon, and informs him of it. Jung-ruk tells him that Do-ha pressured the higher-ups to issue the warrant, and so the matter is out of his hand as well. The warden gets arrested. Apparently, it appears that it was Ji-hoon who is controlling the situation. Mi-ho and Chung-ho observe the inmates to figure out who the big mouse is as the warden gets taken away. In the interrogation room, Jung-ruk plays the recording of the discussion he had with Chung-ho. Jung-ruk tells him that it was not Chung-ho who sent the recording, but Soo-chul. Do-ha is even supporting Soo-chul to become the next warden. Chung-ho gets asked to meet with the acting warden. He gets taken to the VIP room and finds Do-ha and Soo-chul in there. Soo-chul informs him that Do-ha sent him the audio Chung-ho gave him, and he sent it to Jung-ruk. Chung-ho also gets privileges to do whatever he wants in the prison. We then see Ju-hee heading off to work. She drinks a spiked coffee just as Chung-ho did. She loses control of her vehicle and gets herself into an accident. The news reports the accident, so Do-ha worryingly goes to see her. With his newly found privileges, Chung-ho walks Mi-ho to the parking lot. On their way, Chung-ho brings up about Ju-hee's accident. Apparently, it seems it has been a plan of Chung-ho and Mi-ho this entire time. After the meeting he had with Ji-hoon, Chung-ho informs Mi-ho that Ji-hoon might not be the accomplice in killing Jae-yong. If Do-ha is the accomplice, the blood sample she gave to check will be manipulated, since he was with her when she got the blood sample. Mi-ho notices the report has been manipulated. So Chung-ho confirms that Do-ha is the accomplice. He then calls Do-ha and asks him to be the witness to his interrogation. Because of the recording, the big mouse is now after Do-ha as well. Do-ha will fight back, so the big mouse will need Chung-ho to fight against Do-ha. When that happens, they decide to catch both Do-ha and the big mouse, and Do-ha worryingly goes to check on Ju-hee. But the police have already reached her and have taken a blood sample to test on drugs. Ji-hoon also gets to the hospital claiming that he was worried about Ju-hee and came to check on her. Do-ha tearfully waits by his wife's side. Ji-hoon waits with Jung-ruk to learn about the blood test result. As soon as June ruckus the confirmation that rugs were found in Joo-hye's blood, Ji-hoon leaks the information to reporters. The next day, Chung-ho goes to see Soo-chul and asks him to look for inmates who have a tattoo similar to the one that is on the tarot cards. So Soo-chul assembles all the inmates in the assembly hall. He informs them that he is the acting warden and will not allow illegal activities as Warden Yoon-gup did. Some guards set up tents so Soo-chul announces that they will be doing a body search on every inmate in order to track down illegal weapons. But he's really looking for inmates with a tattoo. Chung-ho looks to the process from the warden's office. They manage to find 3 inmates with a big mouse tattoo. Soo-chul considers that Yoon-gup must have more resources than the 3 inmates, considering the control he has over the prison. Chung-ho orders him to just look into the contacts of the 3 inmates, which offends Soo-chul for giving him orders. Chung-ho reminds him that he became the warden through connections, so during the title he should help him. Mi-ho gets a call from Hae-jin informing her that Kwon-yeon's blood had a rare drug in it. Apparently, it was to Hae-jin Mi-ho has handed over the blood sample in the dark alley. She has taken it to a laboratory in America to test. The ones who got addicted to the drug died from leukemia. She remembers that most of the cancer patients in Gujin Hospital also died with similar symptoms to leukemia. In order to find out the cause, they need more blood samples. Mi-ho agrees to get more blood samples from the inmates, and Hae-jin to return to Korea to take the samples to America. Mi-ho gets called to an emergency and finds Kwon-yeon struggling without the drug supplement. Mi-ho puts him to sleep to control him without giving him the drug. She remembers Chung-ho telling her about the model inmates getting a separate drug, even though they claim they both are the same. The model inmates usually get a work permit when they're allowed to clean public places. But they won't talk about what exactly they're doing as if they're ordered not to talk. A man takes a photo of Hae-jin and sends it to Jae-ho, who has gone insane without Hae-jin. Jae-ho texts back to the informant to keep monitoring Hae-jin. Reporters start going after Do-ha because of the news of Joo-hye eating drugs. Joo-hye is shocked to hear the news herself. Do-ha reasons that because he arrested Yoon-gup he has now become a target of the big mouse, and that is the reason for the accident. But Joo-hye argues that the big mouse was fixated on Jae-young's paper and must have grouped her together with the people who killed Jae-young. She admits that she was aware of the strange occurrences in the hospital, but kept quiet because she didn't want to get involved. But in a way that is neither an accomplice. Do-ha's secretary comes with Joo-hye's tumbler in which the drug was in. They realize that Yoo-hye was drugged the same way they drugged Chung-ho. If Chung-ho is working with the big mouse, that means he knows everything about Do-ha, and that might be the reason why Mi-ho joined a prison hospital to find out more about Jae-young's paper. Do-ha orders his secretary to look for Hae-jin and find out what she is up to. Yoon-gup gets taken into prison. Soo-chul greets Yoon-gup as he gets taken to his cell, but Yoon-gup slaps him across the face for betraying him. So Soo-chul hits him hard with a baton. The guards intervene when Soo-chul continues to beat Yoon-gup. Soo-chul orders them to bring the other 3 inmates who had the big mouse tattoo. Chung-ho noticed them getting taken away. He then hangs one of the inmates, while leaving the other 2 to support him in front of Yoon-gup. He threatens Yoon-gup to confess about Big Mouse, or else he have to watch those who are loyal to him being killed. So Yoon-gup tells him that they have not seen who the Big Mouse is. Soo-chul kicks the 2 men supporting the one hanging, and makes Yoon-gup watch him strangle, while ordering him to confess who the Big Mouse is. Chung-ho and Chun-se come to save Yoon-gup and others, and remind him that if they fight, Soo-chul would lose his position as the warden. Yoon-gup gets treated by Mi-ho. Afterward Chung-ho walks with him to the cell. The other inmates start to threaten Yoon-gup as he walks past them, but they get silent when Chung-ho gives them a sharp look. Chung-ho tells him that things are very different in the prison than what he sees from the office. He advises Yoon-gup to come to him when he is ready to confess about the big mouse. The inmates start to beat him up when Yoon-gup gets to his cell. Joo-hye asks about the secret lab from Mi-young. Reluctantly, Mi-young tells her that the researchers, Mi-young, the 3 VIPs, and Ji-hoon, are the only ones who are visiting the lab. Joo-hye then goes to the lab with Mi-young. In the meantime, Do-ha goes to see Joo-hye and finds her bed empty. He finds her returning to the hospital with Mi-young as if she is in shock. On seeing Do-ha, she begs him to take her home. On their way, Joo-hye tells him that she went to the secret lab. Do-ha asks her what she saw there, since he came to know the lab from Mi-ho. Joo-hye just tells him that Jae-young was in charge of it, and she has never gone in there until now. Since she refuses to talk more about it, Do-ha drops the conversation. Soo-chul hears from a guard that his name is not there as the list of candidates for the warden. The guard advises him to call Do-ha and inform him about it. Soo-chul gets determined to show him results and get the position. He makes a call to Do-ha and tells him that Chung-ho is protecting Yoon-gup. He asks for his permission to do things his way to find the big mouse. He calls the inmates to the assembly hall and brings in Yoon-gup and the 3 inmates with the tattoo before them. He shows them the tattoo and informs them that it is a symbol of Big Mouse's organization. Soo-chul also adds that Chung-ho is not the real Big Mouse, and until the real Big Mouse is captured, all inmates are banned from using facilities in the prison, and their work shifts would be increased. Anyone who violates the rules will be punished by him. Anyone who helps capture the Big Mouse would get a special pardon as well. The inmates start to beat up Yoon-gup to know who the Big Mouse is. Chung-ho intervenes, and when the inmate storms at Chung-ho for being a fraud, Chung-sik interrupts and confesses that he knew Chung-ho is not the big mouse for some time now, which surprises Chung-ho as well. He demands the inmates to leave Chung-ho alone. Afterward, Chung-sik admits that he just found out himself, but from what he has seen, Chung-ho is just as good as the big mouse. Chung-ho goes to see Soo-chul, demanding to know what is going on. He tries to contact Do-ha, but Do-ha hangs up the call claiming he's in a meeting. Soo-chul tells him that Do-ha has okay doing things his way, since he does not trust Chung-ho. Chung-ho reminds him that he became a warden because Chung-ho got Yoon-gub arrested. If he becomes unable to find the big mouse, he'd lose everything he has. In the next passing days, the guards continue to search the belongings of the inmates and serve them food in their rooms. So the inmates start to report anyone they dislike as the big mouse. Because of that, some are put into solitude without a reason. Fights among the inmates are increasing as well. Yoon-gub gets continuously beaten up. In the meantime, No Park takes the inmates who get a work permit to Miho. She gets samples of blood from them. Chung-ho decides to stop helping Yoon-gub when he gets beaten up. Even when he walks past Yoon-gub, Chung-ho ignores him. He waits for Yoon-gub to come to him with the information about the big mouse. Hae-jin returns to Korea to get the blood samples and informs her arrival to Miho. Jae-ho watches her from afar and follows her. Miho informs Hae-jin that Gi-kwon and Soon-tae will be following the inmates who get a work release to find the cause of leukemia. But we see the people who are taking the inmates changing the route after figuring out that Gi-kwon and Soon-tae are following them and manage to get them off the tail. The inmates get taken to a secret facility after getting dressed up in a lab suit. Miho heads back after assuring her that she will return after work. Do-ha is also aware that Hae-jin is back in Korea and that she is working with Miho. When she returns to her room, Jae-ho sneaks up from behind, claiming that he loves her. Fearfully, Hae-jin tries to run away from him. She then tries to threaten him with a knife, but Jae-ho tells him that he won't give up on her. When Hae-jin tries to escape from him, she accidentally stabs herself. When Do-ha gets there, he notices the door is unlocked. Inside the room, he finds Jae-ho sitting near Hae-jin. Do-ha's secretary takes away Jae-ho, while Do-ha searches for Hae-jin's phone. He unlocks her phone and looks through the messages she has shared with Miho. Hae-jin gets a text from Miho that she will bring the blood samples of the inmates. Do-ha informs Soo-chul that Chung-ho has joined forces with the big mouse, so orders Soo-chul to kill them. He suggests causing a riot since it'll make things look less suspicious. Yeon-sung is now the right-hand man of Soo-chul, and he orders him to kill the couple. Soo-chul hands over a gun to Yeon-sung and orders him to kill Miho, and to make it look as she died because of the riot. Once he kills Miho, Soo-chul asks him to kill the guards as well. Yoon-gub finally approaches Chung-ho, and tells him that he nor his family would be safe from betraying the big mouse by joining with Do-ha. Chung-ho corrects him that he is just pretending to be siding with Do-ha in order to figure out what he is up to. He asks Yoon-gub to relay the message to the big mouse to meet him in the church, and that it is the last chance he's giving the big mouse to make things up with him. We then see Jerry getting a call, and he responds that there is no point in a meeting. He asks the doctor to process his discharge. Ashley holds an art auction to get the attention of the elder. While the members of the NR forum amuse that Joo-hee might get abandoned by the elder because of her drug scandal, Joo-hee comes to the auction with the elder. The elder and Joo-hee orders Ashley to remove all the guests in the room. So Soon-tae announces everyone to go to the auction hall and clears the room. As the guards serve food to the inmates, one of the inmates pick up a fight with the guards. As the guards beat up the inmates in the cell, Yeon-sung passes one of the prisoners an access key. The prisoner opens up all the cells, and the inmates start to beat up the guards, causing a riot. In the meantime, Chung-ho waits for the big mouse in the church. But he gets a message from the big mouse to change the location of their meet up to the VIP room. One of the guards breaks the power grid, making the entire prison go out of electricity. A man sits next to Chung-ho, and we see it's No Park. Miho's blood samples get stuck in the machine because of the power cut. She tries calling Hae-jin, but because she doesn't answer, she sends her a text informing her about the situation. Do-ha replies to her asking to meet tomorrow. When Chung-ho suspects him, No Park tells him about the tarot card he showed to Yoon-gub, which convinces him that No Park really is the big mouse. As they talk, No Park tells him that his initial interaction with Do-ha has nothing to do with him. But then onwards, when he acted against them, he was to die at their hand. But on someone's request, they have decided to save him, and the way they have chosen to do so is by making him the big mouse. No Park confessed that he is obsessed with Jae-yeon's paper because he wants to see the people who killed his daughter suffer. He also adds that Chung-ho will have to be with him until the very end, so the moment he gives up, he have to die. Chung-ho also makes him an offer. He agrees to bring down No Park's enemies if No Park confesses to being the big mouse. Chang-ho points out that they'll have to earn their trust first in order to destroy them. The guard overhears Soo-chul ordering Yeon-sung to kill Miho, so guard informs it to No Park. So No Park tells Chung-ho to get to the medical room since Miho is in danger. Miho, who is checking on Kwon-yeon, gets a call from Chung-ho, warning her to get out of the prison. Miho rushes to her room to get the blood samples before leaving. She finds all the exits locked, so Chung-ho advises her to hide inside the medical room until he gets to her. Chung-ho runs into a group of guards. Chung-ho tries to fight them, but because he is outnumbered, the guards manage to beat him up. Chun-sik and his minions arrive and save Chung-ho and advise him to check on his wife. Chung-ho finds all the gates locked and struggles unable to reach Miho. No Park and Yoon-gub show him a different entrance to get to the medical room. Meanwhile, Miho fights the inmates who come to kill her. When she was about to get killed, Kwon-yeon gets to her and saves her, but Kwon-yeon does get shot in the hand. While Miho trees Kwon-yeon, Soo-chul comes to them with a gun. Even though he aims the gun at Kwon-yeon, he just knocks him unconscious. Just as he's about to shoot Miho, Chung-ho arrives and beats him up. No Park and Yoon-gub also arrive. Yoon-gub grabs the gun and shoots Soo-chul dead. At the art auction, the elder questions Ji-hoon about his company being the first news outlet and breaking the news of Joo-hee being drugged. The elder demands to know what his plan is by framing Joo-hee. Ji-hoon asks for some time to show him the results of what he's been working on. The elder warns him that he'd have to give up his company if the elder doesn't like the results that he's about to show him. Joo-hee informs that she would like to fill the position of Lei Jae-young, which the elder very gladly hands her over. The elder advises Doo-ha to focus on catching the big mouse, since he will take care of Joo-hee. After the elder leaves, Ji-hoon mocks Joo-hee's newfound interest in the company. Joo-hee retorts at him that she has decided to act against the things they do. Ji-hoon threatens Joo-hee for trying to mess with his company, to which Doo-ha beats him up. Joo-hee intervenes to calm Doo-ha. The guard informs No Park of him being surrounded by armed forces. No Park tells Chung-ho that he agrees to Chung-ho's offer if he keeps his promise. Chung-ho then makes a call to Ji-hoon informing him that he has captured the big mouse, which Ji-hoon is delighted to hear. Doo-ha, who is unable to reach Soo-chul, goes to the prison as well. Just then Ji-hoon arrives with Jun-ruk and the police and informs Doo-ha that they have come to arrest the big mouse. Chung-ho takes No Park in handcuffs and hands him over to Ji-hoon and Jun-ruk. Miho also hands over the blood sample she has collected, claiming she used it as bait to catch the big mouse. Chung-ho then mocks Doo-ha since Ji-hoon ended up taking everything he wanted. Chung-ho gets released, and all charges against him get dropped. Because he also caught the most wanted criminal, Chung-ho gets famous as the most righteous and competent lawyer. Because of it, Chung-ho moves to a bigger office and gets a ton of potential clients. He also intends to keep the promise he made to No Park. Apparently, they have not handed over the real blood samples of the inmates. Instead, Miho has drawn blood from Chung-ho, No Park and Yoon-gub. Miho also informs them that Hae-jin is missing. We see Doo-ha's secretary cremating Hae-jin's body. Chung-ho walks into the prosecution office surprising Jun-ruk and introduces himself as No Park's attorney. He refuses to talk to No Park in the prosecution office and demands he needs a room without a camera. Chung-ho first makes No Park sign the contract of representation. He then asks him to admit to all the charges, since he can then release him on bail. Chung-ho calls for a press conference. He tells them that he will be representing No Park, since he wants to get No Park the punishment he deserves. In the meantime, Ji-hoon goes to meet the elder. He hands him the blood samples of the inmates he got from Miho, and a photo of No Park. The elder tells him that he is satisfied with the results, and gives him an agreement that transfers the elder shares in Ji-hoon's company to Ji-hoon. Ji-hoon excitingly stamps the agreement. Before the elder stamps it, Joo-hee comes and informs the elder of Chung-ho's press conference. Chung-ho reveals that there is a mastermind behind the three VIPs and Ji-hoon, and he intends to bring him before the law. Joo-hee also relays the message of Doo-ha to the elder that Chung-ho plans to release the big mouse on bail. The elder gets angry on seeing the news. When Ji-hoon tries to get his stamp on the agreement, the elder tears it, saying that he should complete the task if Ji-hoon wants his stamp. Miho goes to see Jae-ho. She straightaway asks him about Hae-jin and informs him that Hae-jin is missing. Jae-ho tries to dodge the questions and gets into his car, saying Hae-jin has nothing to do with him. Miho makes a call to Geek-won and tells him that Jae-ho seems to be responsible for Hae-jin's disappearance. Miho also informs him that she will check around the area Geek-won and soon Tae lost the inmates when they were following them. When they all decide to go to find Miho, Ji-hoon walks into the office. So Chung-ho stays behind. Ji-hoon offers to join him into their family if Chung-ho manages to retrieve the money that Big Mouse stole from them. But Chung-ho tells him that if they want to recruit him, the elder himself should come and welcome him since Chung-ho has the upper hand. Miho manages to find the inmates in a remote area and sees Kwon-yeon among them. She sees them walking in a mime-like place with a shutter door. Miho informs it to Geek-won, who strongly advises her not to go in until they get there. Suddenly the mine explodes, and Miho notices people rushing out of it. On remembering Kwon-yeon, Miho asks Geek-won to call for help. On seeing Kwon-yeon is not among those who escaped, Miho goes into the secret facility. She also films the surroundings as she goes in, and helps those she comes across to escape. She manages to find Kwon-yeon and help him out. Doo-ha updates the elder that there are no casualties from the accident, and that he will make sure it does not attract attention. The elder tells him that, when he first developed the NF9 research, there was a friend who warned about its danger to the people. But the elder is not considered as warning and moved on, so his friend left the research. We see that it was Doo-ha's grandfather. The elder tells him that he regrets nothing that happened with his friend. We then see No Park getting released on bail. No Park takes them to his old restaurant. Chung-ho asks him who wanted to save him, but he almost died at the hand of the VIPs. No Park tells him to come to his restaurant the next day and he'll introduce Chung-ho to the person he needs. As he leaves, No Park's restaurant explodes. The episode starts where we left off in the last episode, which is No Park getting killed by the explosion at his restaurant. While watching the news of No Park's death, Do-ha reports to the elder that Chung-ho is still alive. The elder tells him that he doesn't want Chung-ho to die anyway, but just to give him warning. Do-ha tries to convince him that Chung-ho might be a bigger threat than the big mouse, but the elder cuts in, pointing out that bloodshed is never his intention. He also adds his intention of getting Do-ha into the main political party. As he leaves the elder, Do-ha runs into Ji-hoon, who is furious at him for killing the big mouse. Ji-hoon emphasizes that it was he who captured the big mouse, while Do-ha gets the credit. Do-ha mockingly brings up the elder, almost handing him over the company shares. On his way back, Do-ha plans with his secretary to kill Chung-ho, because he knows too many secrets about him. Do-ha's secretary goes into a club looking for a person named Waterfowl. The ladies secretly direct him in. On meeting a waterfowl, the secretary orders him to finish what he started, and hands him a photo of Chung-ho. Meanwhile, Chung-ho remembers No Park telling him that Chung-ho is the first person he's trusting while signing the representation contract with him. He sincerely asks him never to give up, even if he fails. As Chung-ho leaves, he gets followed by the waterfowl. Chung-ho goes to check on the exploded restaurant. As he looks around, waterfowl sneak attacks him. Jerry with another man gets to them, and manages to get the waterfowl unconscious. Jerry explains to him that the waterfowl was sent by the people who killed No Park. When Chung-ho worryingly tries to check on Miho, Jerry assures him that their boys will take her somewhere safe, since it is their duty to take care of him and his wife. Chung-ho asks him if he's the person who asked No Park to save him, but Jerry tells him that he joined the organization recently, and only one of the big three can make such a request. When Chung-ho asks him who the big three are, Jerry offers to take him No Park's funeral. Chung-ho informs the Big Mouse members to Miho, and so Miho and Gi-kwon follow them to a hotel that runs by the organization. Jerry informs him that the gathered people in the funeral house are the core members of the Big Mouse organization. Chung-ho notices Yoon-gub among the gathered people who has been released on bail. Jerry informs that Yoon-gub is the third of the big three. A recording of No Park gets played as Chung-ho pays his respect. No Park informs that he plans to assign all authorities of the organization to Chung-ho and advise the members to follow his command. Chung-ho is shocked to hear this. Yoon-gub accuses Chung-ho for forcing No Park to make a fake video and trying to take over their organization. Soon-tae walks in admitting that it was him who filmed the video. He orders the members to stand up if they refuse to obey No Park's last command. Yoon-gub reluctantly complies with it and leaves. Chung-ho is shocked to learn that Soon-tae is the number 2 of the big three. It was he who wanted to keep Chung-ho alive, since he didn't want his friend to die a wrongful death. Chung-ho asks Soon-tae to let him go, since he has the power as the number 2 of the organization. Soon-tae advises him that the members of the organization don't trust Chung-ho yet, and the moment Chung-ho shows weakness, he and his family would be in much greater danger. As Soon-tae leaves, Chung-ho asks him not to tell anything to Miho. Meanwhile, Do-ha gets informed that Waterfowl was found dead with a suicide note in his pocket. His body was found in the building where No Park died. Do-ha is not convinced that it is a suicide and believes that Chung-ho killed him. Chung-ho goes to the hotel to find Miho and Gi-kwon waiting for him. He informs them that the organization will be protecting them hereafter, since they need to finish what they started. Gi-kwon argues that they should stop working to the organization since their client No Park is dead. But Miho agrees with Chung-ho, pointing out that she wants to see everything to the end and to find out the cause of leukemia for the sake of everyone who trusts in them. The next day, Chung-ho meets with Soon-tae and agrees to comply with No Park's wishes only until they defeat the ones who killed No Park's daughter. He asks Soon-tae about No Park's daughter. Soon-tae tells him that No Park's daughter No Sujin went missing while working on exposing the NR forum. 3 years after her skeleton was found with her notebook. The notebook had notes on Jae-young and his paper. Jae-young was murdered when the police were about to interrogate him. They had planted Peter Hom in the NR forum to locate Sujin. They believed it was Peter who took the 100 billion won. When they finally trapped the money in Peter, he turned himself in. So the organization had to kill him in order to make him silent. Before they could get to the money, someone had already moved it to a different place. Chung-ho then asked him how they placed a gold bar in the location Chung-ho gave Ji-hoon while he was in the mental hospital. Soon-tae tells him that they've bugged Ji-hoon's phone and was listening to the entire conversation. Chung-ho then orders Soon-tae to find out everything about the elder and the NR forum. After some time, Jerry presents the information they have gathered. Apparently, there are 21 members in the NR forum led by Ji-hoon. The elder is the first chairman of the NR forum and the founder of the NK Chemicals. The NR forum controls all the business sectors. Miho also adds that the number of cancer patients in Kuchon is 20 times higher than before. Of the businesses that are related to the cause of leukemia, the most likely cause is the NK Chemicals. Miho remembers a blasting of a pipe at the sinkhole. Gi-kwon informs that the pipes belong to a fish farm which Miho gets suspicious of. Miho is also convinced that the secret lab in the hospital is related to NK Chemicals. Jugi angrily looks through the confidential reports of the secret lab. While having a meal with Do-ha and the elder, Ju-hee brings up the reports, and that she was disgusted on seeing them. She asks him to give up on the chemical company by pointing out that the side effect caused by NF9 has reached its limit. But the elder refuses to do so and leaves. Do-ha reminds her of the agreement he made with the elder to do whatever the elder asks of him in order to marry Ju-hee, and tells her that he killed Jae-young. He also adds that he doesn't regret marrying Ju-hee. Ju-hee is shocked to hear it, so she goes to the secret lab and orders Mi-young and the security guard to get rid of the secret lab. Even though Mi-young is reluctant, the two obey it. She orders them to get rid of the lab quickly without anyone seeing them. The next morning, Mi-ho gets informed of the secret lab being removed. Ju-hee on the other hand watches all the lab materials being burned up, and even throws the key to the secret room in the trash. She then goes to see the elder who is with Ji-hoon and Do-ha. The elder gives her the chance to explain herself for removing the secret lab. Ju-hee tells her that she intends to build a new lab since the world has now come to know of Jae-young's paper. The elder is impressed to hear that she wants to do it the proper way without doing it secretively. In return, Ju-hee asks for the shares the elder was going to give to Ji-hoon of his company, since she needs the power to continue the work. The elder gladly hands her over the shares as Ji-hoon angrily watches them. As they leave, Ju-hee tells Do-ha that she too doesn't regret marrying him, and pulls him into a hug. We see Do-ha secretly rejoicing as he has something different in mind. Do-ha gets attacked by a group of men while he is taking a shower after swimming. Do-ha manages to fight them and knock them unconscious, but gets himself wounded as well. Chung-sik and his minions get taken to a newly built restaurant to meet Chung-ho after their release. Chung-ho tells him that he wishes for him to run the place. Jerry informs Chung-ho about Do-ha's attack under Yoon-gab's order. Soon-tae tells him that Yoon-gab has gotten himself a gangster group and is acting on his own. Yoon-gab is one of those members who refuse to accept Chung-ho as their new leader. Jerry and Soon-tae then go to see Yoon-gab. When Yoon-gab retorts that Chung-ho for being too weak to lead the organization, Soon-tae beat him up. Yoon-gab wakes up in a car at Tate and sees them trying to burn him up inside the car. Just as Soon-tae is about to light up the vehicle, he gets a call from Chung-ho. So Yoon-gab gets taken to Chung-ho. Chung-ho angrily tells him that if Do-ha had died, he'd be ruining his plan, and because of that Yoon-gab would have been killed. Chung-ho tells him that he plans to reveal all the crimes they have committed before killing them. He also adds that he has no intentions of being the Big Mouse, and once he defeats Do-ha, he stepped down as the Big Mouse. Miho looks up articles related to NK Chemicals. Miho notices the news of one of the directors named Hisu of NK Chemicals committing suicide. Miho asks Jerry to find information about the family of Hisu. Jerry finds out that Hisu's son was in prison for dumping toxic waste illegally and committed suicide in the prison, and the grandson Sung-hun has died from drowning in a river. His daughter-in-law has migrated to America and the brother-in-law is in the nursing home. So Miho goes to see Hisu's brother-in-law. She finds him holding on to a photo of two children. He deliriously tells her to save his grandson Do-ha from drowning. Hee-gwon learns that the guardian of the man is Do-ha. Miho remembers Do-ha confessing to her about his father being arrested for dumping toxic waste. Do-ha gets interviewed by reporters as he heads out of the hospital after receiving treatment. He encourages them not to speculate any news until the police are done with the investigation. Do-ha also announces that he does not intend to run for re-election in the upcoming mayoral race and intends to run for the National Assembly. On seeing the news, Chung-ho orders Soon-tae to call a grand press conference. Chung-ho also makes a call to Ji-hoon and invites him to the press conference. Chung-ho announces that he will be running for mayor in the upcoming election. He also adds that Do-ha had a secret relationship with a corrupt organization during his term, and he wishes to sever those ties. After the press conference, Chung-ho meets with Ji-hoon, who has arrived at the press conference. He asks for his help to make him the mayor, by pointing out that every candidate who got the support of the NR Forum has won the election so far. In return, he promises to make Ji-hoon just as powerful as the elder. He asks him to get him a meeting with the elder. So Ji-hoon takes Chung-ho to meet the elder. Even though Do-ha insists him to send him away, the elder decides to meet Chung-ho. Chung-ho tells the elder that he's being blackmailed by the new Big Mouse, who replaced No Park. They are keeping his family hostage and want Chung-ho to avenge No Park's death. Chung-ho also adds that the press conference is to get the elder's attention. No Park was obsessed with Jae-young's paper because of his daughter Sujin, who died trying to expose the research. Elder gets triggered on hearing the name. Chung-ho informs him that the organization does know about the secret lab related to radiation, and it is linked with a model inmate suffering from leukemia. The elder, Do-ha, and Ji-hoon discuss whether to accept Chung-ho. Even though Do-ha tries to convince the elder that Chung-ho is a potential threat, the elder is more interested in accepting him. After the discussion, they call in Chung-ho. He asks the elder to make him the mayor, so he can root out the Big Mouse organization. He then hands him a list of members who are executives in Big Mouse's gang. The real Big Mouse is still in hiding, and Chung-ho offers to become a spy in the organization. The elder invites Chung-ho and his wife to his birthday party. As they leave, Chung-ho tells Ji-hoon that the Big Mouse never took the 100 billion won, and that he himself checked it. Miho goes to see Kwang-yeon. Kwang-yeon asks her if she is feeling alright, and if she's experiencing gum bleeds or bloody noses. She asks him what they were doing when they were taken out for work release. Kwon Yeon tries to talk her out of it by pointing out that the people involved are very dangerous. He doesn't answer her even when she insisted and instead asks her to check whether his mother was able to get the bone marrow transplant. Mi-ho and Gi-kwon go to meet Kwon Yeon's siblings in the parking lot since they refuse to talk to them. Gi-kwon noticed that they seem to be suddenly gone rich, since as for his research, they used to live in basements. On seeing them, Mi-ho and Gi-kwon approach them and inform them that Kwon Yeon wants to know about his mother. Kwon Yeon's brother refused to talk to them, but his sister informs that their mother passed away. On returning, Jerry gets informed that they are being followed. Chung-ho doesn't give much interest in it and tells them to let them follow them. We see that it's Do-ha's secretary who's following him. He sends a video of Chung-ho entering Chun-sik's restaurant. Do-ha notices the distaste of Yoon-gup. Do-ha makes a call to Yoon-gup asking for a meetup after Yoon-gup leaves the restaurant. When Do-ha tells him that it is related to Chung-ho, Yoon-gup agrees. Do-ha shows him the list of executives of the Big Mouse gang Chung-ho handed over to the elder. Do-ha offers to join with Yoon-gup to kill Chung-ho. Mi-ho and Gi-kwon go to see Hae-soo's brother-in-law. They manage to get him to talk about the two boys in the photo he's holding onto. Apparently, the name of the boy who has died from drowning is Do-ha, and that's Sung-han who is Hae-soo's grandson. Mi-ho and Gi-kwon inform it to Chung-ho, and that Sung-han changed his identity to Do-ha after Do-ha's death. Hae-soo and the elder were friends. After Hae-soo started talking about the dangers of NF9, he suddenly committed suicide. They realize that Do-ha is seeking revenge. Meanwhile, the elder's secretary informs the elder that his son has sent him a birthday gift. As they talk, the secretary asks him if he has no intention of giving his son his inheritance. The elder remembers him seeing his son painting from the blood of the people he has killed. The elder tells him that his biggest regret is not being able to kill his son. Soon-tae and Jerry notice Yoon-gup going to see Chung-ho. Chung-ho tells Yoon-gup about Do-ha's real identity and that he's after the elder. He orders him to bring Hae-soo's brother-in-law and to do it quietly. Jerry gets concerned about trusting Yoon-gup, even though Chung-ho insists him to do so. So he follows after him. Jerry sees Yoon-gup following Chung-ho's order, but he gets knocked out by one of Yoon-gup's men. They put him in the trunk and drive off. As they get ready to attend the elder's birthday party, Chung-ho gets a call from Yoon-gup informing him that he has reached the place he told him to. Chung-ho decides to meet him and advises Mi-ho to go to the party alone, and Ji-hoon will help her once she gets there. Ji-hoon introduces Mi-ho to the elder once he gets there. Do-ha gets a call from Yoon-gup informing him that he is going to kill Chung-ho soon. He gets him into a video call and shows him Chung-ho taped up. In the meantime, Jerry regains his consciousness and manages to get out of the trunk. He sees Chung-ho's car among the parked vehicles. Because he can't reach Chung-ho, Jerry informs about Yoon-gup to Soon-tae, who is at Chun-sik's restaurant. So Chun-sik and team speed off to Chung-ho with Soon-tae and Gi-kwon. Jerry goes in looking for Chung-ho until they get there. He sees Yoon-gup making a video call to Do-ha and shooting Chung-ho dead. Shocked by it, Jerry runs off. Ju-hee goes to check on Do-ha. She finds him laughing hysterically. Ju-hee informs him that the elder is leaving, so they both head off to greet him. Do-ha advises Ju-hee to head home, since he has to stop by somewhere else. Jerry makes a call to Mi-ho and informs him that Yoon-gup killed Chung-ho on Do-ha's orders. Mi-ho cheerfully approaches Do-ha and lashes out at him for killing Chung-ho. Ji-hoon and Ashley also notice it. After Do-ha leaves her crying, Mi-ho faints in shock. Do-ha goes to meet Yoon-gup and sees his men mopping the bloody floor. Yoon-gup informs him that his uncle is safe and tells Do-ha to take him with him. Do-ha asks for the body of Chung-ho. Yoon-gup tells him that he has already cremated the body. Yoon-gup gets him to talk about his rivalry with the elder. Chung-ho, who has placed a hidden camera, shows the conversation between Yoon-gup and Do-ha to the elder. The elder advises him to keep everything a secret, since he would take care of everything in his own way. The elder thanks him and offers to give him anything he wants. The elder orders his secretary to call in Do-ha. Soon-tae demands to know what is going on, but Chung-ho is too worried about Mi-ho and just tells him that he managed to get the elder on their side. After Mi-ho regains consciousness, Chung-ho tells her that Jerry didn't have the complete story and it was a trap he planned with Yoon-gup for Do-ha. The secretary takes the elder outside until Do-ha gets there. As he pushes the wheelchair, the elder tells him about Hae-soo and that he was like a brother to him. Silently, Do-ha takes over and pushes the wheelchair. The elder admits that he chose the country over his friend and that he regrets it. So now he wishes to ask for the forgiveness of his friend's bloodline. Do-ha appears before him as he struggles from a heartache and tells him that it is too late. Do-ha angrily tells the elder that his grandfather is the true owner of the fame and honor he enjoyed. Do-ha watches the elder dies. The elder's secretary and Do-ha then takes the elder in to unlock his safe and switches his will. While testing a new menu of Chun-sik, everyone makes up and resolves their misunderstandings. They wonder what is happening with Do-ha and the elder. Just then the news reports the death of the elder. Ji-hoon gets furious on seeing Do-ha wearing the armband as the chief mourner. With Ju-hee's and Ashley's interference, Ji-hoon bows and leaves without causing a scene. Ji-hoon and the three VIPs get more interested to know the elder's will, so the elder's secretary tells him that it is with his lawyer and never once seen a will himself. Chung-ho is not convinced that the elder died from a heart attack. Chung-ho assumes that the elder either got killed by Do-ha or committed suicide. Chung-ho also visits the elder's funeral. Chung-ho approaches Do-ha and calls him by his true name Sung-hun, which Do-hee is surprised to hear. He whispers to Do-ha that he will soon expose his crimes. Mi-ho notices the bloody gum, and her nose starts to bleed as well. She remembers the conversation she had with Kwon-yeon about having leukemia. The episode starts with Chung-ho attending the elder's funeral with his lackeys. He approaches Do-ha calling him by his true name, which Do-hee overhears. Chung-ho leaves after whispering to Do-ha that he will expose all his crimes. Do-hee confronts him about overhearing Chung-ho calling him Sung-hun. Do-ha just tells her that he will explain everything after the funeral. The members of the NR Forum enjoy the thought of Do-ha being helpless now that the elder is gone. Ji-hoon gets informed by Jun-ruk that he managed to arrange a private meeting for him with attorney Jun, who's the elder's attorney. Ji-hoon straight away asks about the elder's will. Ji-hoon learns that the elder has evenly distributed his inheritance evenly among everyone. Even though the elder has mentioned that he wanted to change his will, he has suddenly died. Ji-hoon tries to tamper with the will, but the attorney refuses to do so. Ji-hoon gets a call from Chung-ho asking for a meet-up to discuss about the election. But Ji-hoon hangs up on him asking to figure it out himself. At the parking lot, Chung-ho and his lackeys approach Ji-hoon. Chung-ho tells him that the elder didn't die from a cardiac arrest and scoffs at him that he would come to him on his own terms once the will is read. But Ji-hoon insists that they should go on their separate ways. After Chung-ho leaves, Ji-hoon rejoiced on his own, since he will be getting 36% of the shares in NK Chemicals, as for the elder's will. The next day Ashley gets some workers to fix up the projector in the room where the elder's will be read aloud. To it, Chung-ho manages to get the workers to fix a camera so that they could see the meeting as well. When Do-ha and Ju-hee arrive, Ji-hoon and Chae-bong plot on getting rid of them once they get their shares. But to Ji-hoon's surprise, a different attorney arrives with the elder's will. The elder's secretary informs them that the elder wrote a new will a week before his death. As for the new will, all the assets of the elder have only been given to Ju-hee and Do-ha. The members are devastated to hear it. As Do-ha and Ju-hee leaves, Ji-hoon furiously comes to them demanding to know if Do-ha tampered with the elder's will. But Do-ha just tells him not to tarnish the elder's wishes, and leaves them fighting. Chung-ho and his team, who has been watching the entire thing, worry that Do-ha has become powerful to the level of the elder. Mi-ho gets a call from the hospital, so she quickly leaves to answer the call secretively. The hospital informs her that her blood test results do not look so good, and asks her to get a full checkup. Gi-kwon comes to her to know about the call, but Mi-ho just tells him that it was about a delivery they got. Ji-hoon, who is devastated, remembers Chung-ho telling him that the elder didn't die from a cardiac arrest. Chung-ho watches him through his hidden camera. Reluctantly he makes a call to Chung-ho, but he leaves Ji-hoon's call unanswered. So Ji-hoon visits Chung-ho and begs him to help him. Chung-ho then reveals to Ji-hoon the true identity of Do-ha, and that Do-ha killed the elder because he found out. Ji-hoon decides to tell the truth about Do-ha to the members of the NR Forum. He assumes that it will make the members rebel against Do-ha. Chung-ho asks him to help him be the mayor, so he can take down Do-ha through law and justice. That night Do-ha tells Ju-hee that he has decided to run for mayor instead of the National Assembly. Do-ha also reveals his true identity to her. He admits that he came closer to the elder to be acknowledged by him, and regained his true inheritance. He argues that the elder already knew who he was, and that is why he left him a huge inheritance. So Do-ha tells her that the way he can protect the elder's inheritance is by becoming the mayor. Ju-hee agrees to support him. The next day Do-ha announces his candidacy. Chung-ho becomes determined to win the mayoral race and reveal Do-ha's crimes. So in the next passing days, Chung-ho and Do-ha continue with their campaigns. Mi-ho secretly goes through the full checkup. The doctor informs her that she is suffering from stage 4 lymphoma. The doctor recommends her to prepare for the chemotherapy. Chung-ho and his team celebrate that his ratings have increased from 7% to 22% and has managed to get himself into the top 3 candidates. Mi-ho as well cheerfully joins them. But Chung-ho notices that something is wrong with her. Later Mi-ho and Chung-ho take a walk on the beach. As they talk, Mi-ho reveals that she and Gi-kwon are aware that he is the big mouse after no park. Chung-ho admits that he agreed to become a big mouse until he defeats Do-ha. Mi-ho just tells him that she wants him to become a big mouse who is kind and righteous. Ji-hoon and Ashley arrange a meeting for the members of the NR Forum, after revealing to them the true identity of Do-ha. But only Jun-ruk shows up. Jun-ruk informs him that all the members have attended the meeting assembled by Do-ha, and they won't be coming to Ji-hoon's meeting. So Ji-hoon stormed into their meeting room to find everyone in there. Do-ha tells him that the NR Forum has agreed to support him in the election. Ji-hoon lashes out at them for supporting Do-ha after knowing the truth about him. Ju-hee calls for an emergency board meeting to remove Ji-hoon as the CEO from his company. Ji-hoon tries to reveal to her about Do-ha, but Ju-hee tells him that she already knows that his true identity is Sung-hun. When Ji-hoon brings up Do-ha killing the elder, Ju-hee threatens him that she will not just stop firing Ji-hoon from the company if he continues to harass Do-ha. Ji-hoon goes to see Chung-ho and tells him of the situation. He hands him a flash drive containing the special treatment given to the NR Forums corporations by Do-ha as mayor. Chung-ho learns from Ji-hoon that the elder had a son, and that he lives in the US. Chung-ho suggests using him to file an inheritance lawsuit to get back some of the elder's inheritance from Do-ha and Ju-gi. So Ji-hoon agrees to look for him. Ji-hoon assigns Jun-ruk to look for the elder's son. Ji-hoon tells him that the elder cut off his ties with his son because he was a serial killer and someone else took the fall for him. Mi-ho gets informed that Kwen-yeon will be passed away soon. Mi-ho goes to see him, but Kwen-yeon's brother tries to stop her. Mi-ho sternly tells him that she treated Kwen-yeon when she worked at the prison, and so she needs to check up on him. Kwen-yeon recognizes Mi-ho. He asks her about his mother. Mi-ho tells him that she got the transplant and is fine. Kwen-yeon dies in relief on hearing it. Kwen-yeon's sister waits for Mi-ho to tell her that Kwen-yeon is not a serial killer. He took the fall for a rich guy who they don't know of, so that their mother could get treated. His sister thanks Mi-ho for comforting Kwen-yeon at his last moment. Mi-ho goes to meet Ju-hee on hearing it. Angrily, Mi-ho vows to expose their crimes, since innocent people are dying because of them. Mi-ho then visits Chung-ho, who is preparing for a TV debate with Do-ha, with the information Ji-hoon gave him. She suggests they should see each other every day, no matter how busy they are. Chung-ho promises that he will follow her everywhere she goes after they take down Do-ha. Tearfully, Mi-ho watches him work. Later, Chae-bong reports to Do-ha that in a cryptocurrency fraud, Chung-ho represented the plaintiffs and lost the trial. The guy behind the fraud is now being arrested and currently is being investigated. Jun-ruk sees Do-gun waiting for prosecutor Soo-il, who is in charge of the cryptocurrency case. Do-gun takes him to meet Do-ha. Do-ha tells him that he wants Chung-ho to drop out of the race before the election. For that, he asks for Soo-il's help. Soo-il agrees to it. In the meantime, Chae-bong, Soon-tae, and a representative of the other candidate who is in the top 3 ratings, meet with the TV program producer of the TV debate. Soon-tae notices that there is an item where the general public can ask questions from the candidates which weren't there in the previous programs. After the representatives leave, Chae-bong makes a call to Do-ha and connects him with the producer. The producer assures him that he has arranged a group of people for the public representatives as he advised. The news reports the arrest of the man behind the cryptocurrency fraud, and that he bribed Chung-ho, who had represented the plaintiffs at the time, to lose the trial. It also reports the news that Chung-ho is working with a gang. While Chung-ho and the team with the news, he gets a call from Ji-hoon, confirming that Do-ha is behind all the false accusations. They worry about Chung-ho having a chance in winning with these accusations, but Chung-ho is determined to attend the TV debate. Mi-ho remembers the underground pipes and assumes something is suspicious about them. She gets Jerry to look into them. Mi-ho stays behind with Jerry on the TV debate. Jerry informs her that the fish farms the pipes connect to have intense security. The owner of the farm is a former head of security of NK Chemicals. Mi-ho and Jerry go to the fish farm with Chun-sik and his lackeys. They force enter into the farm. After a violent fight, Chun-sik and the team manage to capture the owner and the working crew. But one of the workers hide and makes a call to Chae-bong informing him about the gangster attack. Mi-ho hands him a bottle of water from which the owner drinks. She then asks him about the connection between the fish farm and NK Chemicals. The owner accidentally tells her that the water on the farm is from a chemical plant. When he tries to cover it up, Mi-ho lies to him that she got the water he's drinking from the fish farm. The owner shockingly asks for help. Mi-ho orders him to tell her the truth, or she'd make him drink the water for real. In the meantime, the TV debate gets aired. Whenever Chung-ho brings up a point that harms Do-ha, the anchor quickly cuts him up. Soon-tae notices Chae-bong hurrying out with Do-gun and Do-ha's secretary. Chae-bong informs them about the fish farm and hurries with Do-ha's secretary to stop them. Soon-tae makes a call to Jerry and learns from him about the fish farm. Mi-ho and the team make a video recording of the owner confessing to the water being wastewater with highly concentrated radiation. The owner adds that the water gets dumped into the ocean. The NK Chemicals pay him through a paper company in Hong Kong. Mi-ho advised Chun-sik and the team to collect everything that they find on the fish farm that can be used as evidence. Chun-sik manages to find ledgers at the paper company as well. As they load up, they notice Chae-bong and his men arriving. Chun-sik orders Mi-ho and Jerry to leave quickly, and Chae-bong notices them speeding off. While Chae-bong and Do-ha's secretary follow them, Chae-bong informs Do-gun about Mi-ho, and she is heading to the TV station. Soon-tae sees Do-gun worryingly making the call to find a way to stop Mi-ho. He gets a text from Jerry with a video of the fish farm owner's confession. He agrees to get her in as a citizen representative and assures them that they will get Chae-bong off from their tail. In the meantime, Do-gun makes a call to a police chief, while Soon-tae also makes a call. Mi-ho and Jerry get stopped by the traffic police. Chae-bong and Do-ha's secretary pass them in relief for them getting stopped. But the officer asks Jerry to follow him, saying he's there to escort them. Chae-bong and Do-ha's secretary gets themselves into traffic checkup, while Mi-ho and Jerry pass them over. At the TV station, Gi-kwon worries when the man involved in the cryptocurrency fraud has also been called in as a public representative. But Soon-tae calms him down, and we see the TV station director ordering the producer to get Mi-ho as a public representative. We see the director as one of the executive members of the Big Mouse organization. Soon-tae orders him to play the video Mi-ho sent when Mi-ho is speaking. During the round of the citizens' question, the cryptocurrency scammer asks Chung-ho about the money he got from him to lose the trial. He shows them a notebook containing serial numbers of the bills of the money he gave him, and asks the police to compare the serial numbers with the money found at Chung-ho's office. Do-ha asks Chung-ho to withdraw from his candidacy since he has been proven guilty. Do-ha does get shaken when he sees Mi-ho sitting among the public representatives. Do-ha tries to call her off by pointing out that she is Chung-ho's wife. Mi-ho clarifies that she is there as a victim of NK chemicals. Mi-ho reveals about the underground drainpipe explosion due to a sinkhole, and there she got exposed to radiation. So she is now in stage 4 lymphoma, which both Gi-gwon and Chung-ho are shocked to hear. The video of the fish farm owner gets played. Do-ha suggests a prosecution investigation of the validity of the content of the video. After the program, Do-ha angrily asks Chae-bom and Do-gun what they were doing, while Mi-ho gets that evidence. Jerry takes Chung-ho to their old office to see Mi-ho, assuring him that she has turned off the phone because of the reporters. The two have an emotional reunion at the office. In the next following days, people start to protest against Do-ha and Joo-hee. They get called to the prosecution's office to interrogate. Do-ha gets interrogated by Jun-ruk. Do-ha approaches the mirror glass knowing Ji-hoon and Chung-ho are behind it. He challenges them to prove him guilty, and that he will be re-elected as the mayor. Ji-hoon admits that he was not able to find the elder son. Chung-ho orders Ji-hoon to let Joo-hee go, after a brief questioning. Chung-ho runs into Joo-hee and informs her that Ji-hoon would be doing an autopsy at the elder son's request. He also adds that if Do-ha is the killer, he'd do everything to stop the autopsy. But Joo-hee defends Do-ha claiming his innocence, and it's because of Joo-hee and the elder that Do-ha is in the situation he is in right now. On her way back, Joo-hee tells Do-ha's secretary about Ji-hoon getting the elder's body autopsied. She convinces him that she is aware of Do-ha's doings. To her shock, Do-ha's secretary assures her that he will take care of it. Do-ha gets released after 72 hours of interrogation because of the lack of evidence. His trial has been postponed to after the elections. After being released, Do-ha promises to conduct a thorough investigation on NK chemicals, since he is the single shareholder of the company. In the next passing days, Do-ha and Chung-ho become the candidates with the highest ratings. Do-ha gets re-elected as the mayor from the election. Joo-hee delivers a package to Mi-ho with Do-ha's burner phone. She asks her to use it in the trial as evidence. Joo-hee gets a call from Chung-ho asking her to testify that the burner phone belongs to Do-ha. Joo-hee agrees to it. The elder's secretary watches her as she calls Chung-ho. On the trial day, Joo-hee doesn't show up to the trial as promised. Instead, Do-gun gets the elder's secretary to testify that the phone belongs to him. He testified that the phone originally belonged to the elder and after his death, he has been using it. So due to lack of evidence, the court rules Do-ha not guilty. We then flash back to Do-ha placing a hidden camera on the bookshelf and seeing Joo-hee taking the phone. She has then been kidnapped and gets locked up in the mental asylum just as they did to Chung-ho. Jerry reports to Chung-ho that Joo-hee is nowhere to be found, and her phone is switched off. Chung-ho assumes that something might have happened to her. Mi-ho faints as they talk. They take her to the hospital. At the hospital, Mi-ho dies after having an emotional time with Chung-ho. Do-ha finds Chung-ho standing near his swimming pool. Chung-ho confessed to him that he is the big mouse. Do-ha mockingly tells him that even as the big mouse he is no match for him. He scoffs at Chung-ho when he asks him if he ever thought about the people who died because of him. Just then Do-ha coughed off blood. Chung-ho then tells him that he should feel the same pain as his victims, and confess the pool is filled with radiation-contaminated wastewater. Chung-ho leaves him as he dies. The new reports that victims of NF9 have filed a civil lawsuit against NK Chemical. Joo-hee gets saved by Ji-hoon and Ashley. Joo-hee testifies that Jae-young's paper proves the correlation between NF9 and cancer patients. The three VIPs get a prison sentence of 10 years for killing Jae-young. At this time they do not get any VIP privileges. Ji-hoon also gets appointed as the new president of his company. Orphanages and nursing homes get money anonymously from the Big Mouse organization. The drama ends as Chung-ho visits Mi-ho's grave. Thank you so much for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed it and I'll see you next time.